Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
your stats and standings, your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts. As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds. CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories. More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
Right along I-74, the Peoria Notre Dame Irish have traveled down to Normal West on this penultimate day of August. It's the opening day of the IHSA football season, a day that many have looked forward to, and it's finally here in our WMBD Game of the Week. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jonathan Michael here alongside Latif Love. And Latif, these are two teams that come in this year with very realistic expectations that they could win a very tough Big 12 conference.
Yeah, the Big 12 is always tough every single year. And these two teams, P&D last year had a 5-4 season, but they ended up upsetting Kankakee in the first round of state playoffs. So it's going to be a great night. I think a lot of people might think this game's going to be a little bit one-sided, but I think P&D is going to surprise them tonight and show how tough and how versatile, how hard-nosed they are today. This is just a great week to be here. It's great weather after being hot for a lot of the week. I know these teams are happy that it's quieted down or got a little bit cooler because practice is very hard for them this week with it being so hot. But first week of football, it's always lovely to be out here. I'm excited.
Really should be. And again, you tell us the story of the week. Both teams having to practice inside, maybe even practice at 6 a.m. due to the high humidity. It's turned out to be a beautiful evening here in Normal. Let's talk a bit more about the matchup, Latif. It's one that we haven't seen in some time. The last time these teams faced off was 2021. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, it is pretty rare that they haven't faced off in 3 years. But as far as the matchup, I think it's a style clash in this game. P&D is really more traditional in their style of play. They like to ground and pound, run the ball a lot. They will pass the ball, but I think they really dive more into their play action as soon as you get them to commit to the run. The defense is stout. And like I said, last year they were 5-4, surprised people in the playoffs. I think they can do that here again tonight.
Certainly, and then Normal West, a team that has reached the playoffs for 14 straight seasons. That's quite the streak. And what can we expect out of them? The Wildcats are a very speedy team.
Well, you talk about them reaching the playoffs in 14 straight seasons. This school is a powerhouse as far as football. Have a pretty good basketball team sometimes as well. They just have athletes coming in and out of here. Multi-sports athletes, quick and fast athletes. They're very strong, but again, the speed is their main thing. They like to pass the ball a lot. They like to do wide receiver screens, get their players out in space. They have weapons coming in out of here every single year. But I think this year they're going to defer a little bit more to the run because that was a weakness in their game last year where they were a little bit one-dimensional. So I think they can improve on that this year, but they're going to be up and down the field, quick passes to get the athletes in space.
It's shaping up to be a beauty here from Normal West. We're glad you're with us here to kick off the IHSA football season. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this on CIProud.com.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like taking marinated oven-roasted chicken and tossing it in our hot lemon pepper sauce. Or how we hand toss our fresh, never frozen signature dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And now our dough can save you dough when you order from the Papa Pairings menu. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Order now on the app.
And welcome in live to Normal West Community High School here in Normal, Illinois. Beautiful night for football. 2 great teams, 2 great coaches. We sat down with Peoria Notre Dame's head coach Pat Armstrong earlier this week. We got to talk with him a little bit. You can watch that video now. Down now to Pat Armstrong. You'll hear from in just a second. Great crowd here on hand out west. Back after this.
Standing here with Pat Armstrong, the head coach of Peoria Notre Dame. Coach, really excited to see you guys this week. Big game against Normal West, a team you didn't play last year. But first of all, got to get the elephant out of the room, the heat this week. How have you guys been able to deal with that?
We went inside, so we went up to the yard. It's one of our sponsors that we had a chance to go into. So it's a nice place to get into for the year. We get in a little bit of the air conditioning, but we have to practice. So we got out of the heat and we went indoors the last 2 days.
Certainly very nice that the Irish have been able to do that. And you mentioned practice. Obviously, you have so many weeks and months of the off season. But tell me a bit, what does practice kind of look like for you guys the week of the actual game? And does it be any easier having so many seniors back?
I think we hit the ground going pretty fast this year, right? When you bring that many kids back, they know what their job is, they know what they're supposed to do, so it makes it a lot easier for the install process. We really ramped it up in the summer. We had a lot of practices that were really hard in the summer, and then as we get into the season, we'll start to bring it back a little bit. This week we'll still go long, so we got no other games this week except for ours, and so we'll be able to get a full hour or 2 hours of practice in, and then next week we'll start to taper it back a little bit.
Certainly, and just backtracking a little bit, the first year at the IHSA allowing week 0 scrimmages. Some teams took on other teams. Pat, what did you guys do for your scrimmage last week?
So we every year we have the Shamrock, and so it's a huge kickoff for the school. So every fall sport has their campaign where they come out and they showcase every team for the year. So our Shamrock was here, and so we had volleyball, we had soccer, we had cross country, we had football. We had everybody out here all at the same time, so it was really nice.
Very cool indeed. And Coach, again, big game coming up against Normal West, a big one to help set the tone for a very good season in the Big 12. Coach, overall, what's the biggest key that you're looking for out of your guys here tonight?
Oh, I would say ball control, right? Being able to do what we do, control the ball, move the ball down the field. You know, we're not looking to be, real extravagant. We're going to get 4 yards here, 5 yards there, and we just keep moving the ball and get first downs.
Irish, a team that always work hard, they'll ground and pound you, and they are ready to deal with the heat this week. Back to you guys up in the booth.
And welcome back into Normal West again. The pomp, the circumstance, the bands here on the field. What more could you ask for here? The return of high school football in Central Illinois. Again, Jonathan Michael here of Clutch Sports Media alongside my partner Latif Love, ready to bring you tonight's action. And Latif, again, we talked about it in the open, turned into a beautiful night, still pretty muggy, but it really could be a lot worse considering the humidity we've seen this week.
Yeah, a lot cooler today, around 80 degrees here. Hopefully we don't get any rain or anything like that, and we just get a cool night, because once it gets dark and these lights go off, this field gets really, really beautiful. So hopefully it's clear weather, we can get some really, really good football, high scoring, high pace, or we can get a defensive game. It really doesn't matter, as long as we're in for a good night.
And again, we really don't know what we're going to see because these two teams haven't faced off against each other in so long. Again, we touched about it in the open. Their last matchup, Latif, September 24th of 2021. Now, here's why that's so unique is the Big 12, instead of most conferences, play 8 conference games rather than 7. You have 10 conference opponents, so you face 8 out of those 10 each year. And so if you don't face a team one year, you're probably going to face them the next year, but that's not the case. P&D, though, for the record, did win the last matchup that year, and both teams ended up 6-4.
Yeah, that is pretty weird considering the trade-off. But I think even though they haven't played each other in 3 years, these coaches are still familiar with each other, with how long they've been at their respective schools and their respective programs, the history that they have. together. So it's a matchup that hasn't happened in 3 years, but it's not an unfamiliar matchup. Especially Peoria Notre Dame has been playing this style of offense for a long time. It's almost patented now by them. And Norman West has been, as long as I've been covering Central Illinois sports, has been one of the faster teams in the whole entire state, one of the most exciting offenses in the whole entire state. So haven't played each other in a while, but they know what they're going to be getting into tonight.
They certainly do. And Latif, let's talk a little bit about our key players to watch tonight. Who do we have for both teams?
For Normal West, it is going to be, for P&D, it's going to be Jack Hangley, a traditional running back. He is going to be able to take a lot of carries, which is what the commands out of this offense. And he's pretty elusive, but also he can carry a workload as well. So he's going to be a major part of this offense tonight. Norman West obviously is going to have him circle on their scouting report for them to stop him tonight if they're able to be successful. And then obviously for Norman West, we have Brian Lanier, one of the better defensive players in the entire state last year. And according to his coach and other coaches around the area, the best defensive player on this team last year. P&D is patented for their running game, a lot of misdirection, a lot of just direct handoffs, stuff like that. It is wing T, but they do a little bit creative with it. So he'll be a big part of stopping the running game tonight.
They certainly will. And that's kind of, we talked with both teams, we talked to Normal West head coach, Nathan Fincham, and he said, we know you're going to run the wing T, but you can know that a team runs the wing T and still not know what you're going to see. You can see power plays, you can see option plays, you can see belly plays. I mean, there's so many options. We're going to see lots of movement and lots of different ball carriers in this P&D backfield. Fun fact, Latif, they have no wide receivers listed on their roster. Not going to say that they're not ever going to throw the ball, but you don't see that very often.
Yeah, obviously every team that comes in and play Peoria Notre Dame for the last few years know they're going to run wing T. But if it was just stagnant and you were able to scheme for it easily, they wouldn't have had the success they had over the course of this history of the school. Even last year, upsetting number 3 seed in the playoffs. So you know what they're going to run, but it's not just stagnant. It's not predictable. Like you said, they don't have any wide receivers listed on the roster, so that means they have a team full of versatile athletes who are able to catch the ball, run the ball, take direct snaps. You're going to see a lot of things. They've been working on this for a very, very long time, so they have a lot of variation out of it. And so they're adding new stuff every single year to make it not stale and make it harder for coaches to scheme for them.
And I remember a couple years ago, actually, I asked P&D head coach Pat Armstrong, and I said, have you ever, considered, obviously, not doing the wing T? You feel like teams ever start to figure it out a little bit? And he said, well, no, because, most teams haven't been able to stop them, and they were a great team last year. And now we get to look at Normal West. The Wildcats are taking the field. The fans are on their feet here in Normal, the crossroads of Illinois. And boy, Latif, we just have waited so long for this one. There's nothing better than Friday night lights. And again, it's still pleasant enough outside. And it's going to be a good night. The weather's going to get cooler a little bit. See, P&D, they take a knee right now. But you look at the Wildcats. And again, Wildcats, they're a little bit more of a traditional Big 12 team, at least in terms of their offense.
Yeah, they definitely are. This league, one of the faster-paced leagues in the state. A lot of offense. Not to say these defenses aren't good, because a lot of them are great. But the Big 12 is about scoring a lot, exciting football. So Normal West is definitely a little bit more traditional with what they're going to run, what the offense they're going to put out there, the athletes they have. They have one goal to get up and down the field. What I want to see from them more this year is just more emphasis on defense, because the team was very good last year, ended up going 8-3, but when they went up against a great competition, the defense wasn't able to hold up. And those were 3 of the best teams in the entire state last year: East St. Louis, Peoria, and Normal Community. But when you go in those games, you have to have some repetitions and practice. So I want to see their defense step up in games that aren't as high caliber to have the repetition and have the practice for when they do see some of the best teams in the state, like they probably will this year, and they can have that muscle memory that we need to be great defensively, that initiative that we need to be great defensively.
Yeah, certainly. As we'll take a quick look at our tale of the tape. Obviously, this is the first game of the season for both teams, but we'll take a look at what both teams did last year in terms of their scoring offense. P&D averaged 32 points a game and gave up just over 24 points per game. And then Normal West, they scored 37 points per game while giving up about 22. So even though these are two very different teams in terms of styles, they kind of won the same types of games. And really, it's not a matter of what you do to get there. It's just a matter of, hey, they got there, and that's what mattered. As you look at the Normal West Wildcats take the field, they got introduced just a second ago. P&D across the way in their away whites with their green metallic or chrome ND on the side of their logo and that Irish braid down the middle, though you can't see it from here. Normal West in their home blacks with black helmets. They got numbers on one side of their helmet and then that Wildcat scratch on the other side of theirs as well. Latif, it's a few minutes before kickoff. Real quick, let's talk about our keys to the game. First of all, what do we have for P&D?
P&D, obviously, they got to just play their style, honestly. Control the time possession because they have such a great running game, such a great wing T offense. They are able to control the clock a lot. And when you're going against a team in Normal West that is a very, very high-scoring team, a team that likes to get out and run and score and play exciting football, you got to throw that off and counter that with some tempo, tiring out their defense and stuff like that, getting their offense out of rhythm and stuff like that. So their key is going to be definitely controlling the time of possession and playing astute defense to stop this high-power offense.
Certainly, and then for Normal West, it's keep him comfortable, and by him we mean quarterback Drew Mangrum. Normal West offensive line, 5 new starters. Not to say that's a drop-off in talent by any means, but just a little bit of a different line. So keeping Mangrum and the Wildcats passing attack comfortable, it will be good. And also, they got to get the reinforcements on defense with so much motion in the Irish backfield.
Definitely, I agree with those keys to the game, especially for Normal West. When you have 5 new offensive linemen, you have to build that chemistry, which I think they have done over this summer. But you obviously have to get that in the game. So I want to see how the offensive line comes out and how Drew comes out to start this game.
P&D won the toss. That coin toss brought to you by Hometown Community Banks, and they deferred. So it will be the Normal West Wildcats to get the ball first, and we will see that very potent offense that has Mangrum. Keep an eye. We'll talk about Cody Mulbauer, their new speedy running back as well. But this kickoff here, which is brought to you by Michael Tatelli and Fees, keep an eye on it. Latif, P&D likes to throw some onside kicks every once in a while. It will be Lawson Alwyn to kick it off for the Irish. And that's something that the Wildcats said that they practiced this week, was getting those onside kicks back.
And that's all a part of their, controlling the possession. They're not like Peoria or anything like that where they onside kick it every time, but they will surprise you a little bit. It comes when you have such a experienced coach.
We are ready for kickoff. It's a pooch punt. All right, kick, I should say, and it's brought in by Jaden Cross. Let's meet the Normal West offense.
Drew Mangrum, junior, quarterback.
Cody Mulbauer, sophomore, running back. Cooper Temples, senior, receiver, running back.
Efoy Vasquez, sophomore, slot receiver.
Malik Givens, junior, wide receiver.
Terrell Jackson, senior, wide receiver.
Jacob Meyer, senior, left tackle.
Grant Janes, senior, left guard.
Kyle Tennis, senior, center.
Charlie Moore, senior, right guard.
Jordan Stovall, sophomore, right tackle.
And so Normal West will start their 2024 season at the 40-yard line. And Mangrum, that quarterback in his, I guess, a second official season of starting. Started about half their games last year. He lines up in the shotgun. Here we go, folks. The first play from scrimmage, but no. We'll actually have a flag on the play. We'll see what this is about. And that is going to go on the Irish defense, so it'll be a 1st and 5 for the Wildcats start. Not the way that the Irish defense wanted to start this game.
Some early season jitters, you know, you have it. First game, and you're on the road in this atmosphere.
Here's Mangrum in the shotgun and hands off to Mulbauer. He is wrapped up after a short gain. The Irish linebackers are ready for that one. It's an experienced group, Latif.
Great job containing the run. He did have a hole there for a second, but they did a good job of closing up pretty soon.
So it'll be second and about a long one, we'll say. Ball is just shy of midfield. 3 receivers for Mangrum, all of them very talented. Here's Mulbauer again to the left side. He's got a first down and more. Mulbauer's free. There he goes. Touchdown, Normal West. The second play of the season is a house call. That's the sophomore back, Cody Mulbauer.
Talk about setting the tone in the first game of the season. On your second play from scrimmage, basically, third play from scrimmage, you take it to the house. And what a great feeling it has to be for him. On his first snap, he gets a touchdown. And the offensive line looked great in their first appearance, their first drive of the season as well. Cleared up a hole, and that was great vision for him to take it to the house.
That was Jacob Meyer, the left tackle, who threw a big block, as well as Grant James. West will line up for the PAT after all. We don't have a number 75 on our roster, so the anonymous Normal West kicker boots it through the uprights, and that's a 2-play 60-yard scoring drive in 41 seconds, brought to you by Papa John's. And that, again, Latif, just you cannot start the game a better way than that. And the West fans, they're rocking.
You can't start a season any better than that, to be honest. And we knew this Normal West offense was going to be high-flying, high-scoring, very exciting. But I don't think we could even imagine that they would score that fast on their third play from scrimmage. Got to be a great feeling. And for P&D, it's about how you bounce back from that. Didn't give your offense a lot of time on the sideline, but hopefully they can come out and respond to that score.
So the West Wildcats will kick it away. Again, Cody Mulbauer, a sophomore that the Wildcats are very high on. He's got very good speed. We'll talk more about that later as well. And, you know, Normal West obviously lost a lot of seniors last year, but I think a mark of a good program is you have very key seniors, but also as well having those big sophomores and juniors that are ready for those roles when those guys leave. And Cody Mulbauer has got 2 more years of high school ball ahead of him. Wildcats kick it off from the 40. Their student section clad in pink, jumping up and down, ready to go. And this is a short one into the 19. And there's a hole up to the 34 is where the Irish will start. That was Dallas Harder. And let's take a look at the rest of the P&D offense.
Brought down by number 5, Logan Alvarez.
Ben Mullins, senior quarterback.
Jack Hanley, senior running back.
Lawson Owen, senior fullback.
Tyler Miller, junior running back.
Jack Campbell, senior tight end.
Kevin O'Donnell, junior tight end.
Lucas Langen, senior left tackle.
Cy Corey, senior left guard.
Brady Mullins, junior center.
Mitch Sager, junior right guard.
Noah Takis, sophomore right tackle.
And so the Irish will start at about the 34. Ben Mullins, the quarterback, we saw some trickery right away. He fooled me out. Thought that give went to Jack Hanley, but instead it was Lawson Alwyn.
What a great job from the Normal West defense to know, it looks like they did a lot of the scouting already, know misdirection is going to be in this wing T offense. Good job from them, defensive ends, stay concentrated, stay focused, and stop that play out.
And Normal West had a unexpected loss on the defensive end. Their end from last year, Lorenz Higgins, transferred to Bloomington. So that's a mostly all-new unit, although they do return tackle Charlie Moore. Here's a give up the gut, and it's eliminated right away. That was Lakin Moore in on the play, as well as, I believe, Keegan Brown, also Logan Alvarez getting in on that stop.
And that play looks similar to the first one. An interesting decision right there to kind of go back to the same type of formula, even though they didn't get good yards on first down. Now they're backed up on third down, already down 7 in their own territory. So it's probably going to have to be something conservative on third down.
See what the Irish do here. Again, 3rd and 11, not a team that passes often, but can pick up those chunk plays on the ground. Again, Hanley is a workhorse. Lawson, a tough fullback. They will have Kevin O'Donnell, the tight end, split out to the side, but this one's blown dead. And we had a timeout there by Peoria Notre Dame. So that'll be their first of this one. I want to take a quick word for sponsor tonight's broadcast, Michael's Italian Feast. And, you know, Latif, what do you think Pat Armstrong is talking about here? 3rd and 11. We did see, though, O'Donnell, the tight end, go out wide. Do you keep it on the ground here, or do you maybe try and go on maybe a quick crossing route?
I honestly, being backed up this far, they're not that close to their own end zone. I would try to go here for at least some play action. Make sure you buy your quarterback some time, though, and try to deliver something over the middle of the field to get out in space and try to get this first down. But make sure I'm telling my quarterback not to put the balls in harm's way, because if this is a turnover or anything like that, then this game is going to get very, very scary, very quick. And in the type of offense they run, they do not need to get down big early.
They certainly don't, but Tina, again, is very tenacious. Made it to the second round of the Class 4A playoffs a year ago. Here's another heavy set look. No one split out wide. Again, Ben Mullins, new quarterback for the Irish, takes the snap, and it's a kind of a fake. He pitches it out. There's a little bit of room, but not enough for the first. Wildcats.
25.
And Torin Dallaire, the free safety, gets in on the stop.
Knocked out of bounds by number 6.
Interesting decision from Peoria Notre Dame right there to run the ball. But that entire drive, Normal West looked just prepared for everything they had to offer, everything Peoria Notre Dame had to offer on that drive. But interesting decision to go 4 runs, basically, out the gate.
Again, that's what we're probably going to see most of the night from the Irish. Kind of service academy style football, and it fits because Pat Armstrong, a retired Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force. Although he did not attend Air Force Academy, the punt will go away. There by Ben Lutz. It's taken on a bounce. Out across the 20 is a flag down. Here's Ifo Baskins out to the 45. We'll wait to see what this flag is.
I think maybe a block in the back.
On the return,
something like that.
20, Jamari.
And so we haven't talked about how many flags we see in this game. You do tend to see more of them, usually in the first week or so of the season, as teams get to see real game action for the first time and perhaps shaking a bit of rust off, but illegal block in the back. You're going to see those every once in a while, especially on the punts. As they talk some things over. While they do, let's meet the P&D defense.
I'm Anthony Scott. I'm a senior and I play defensive line.
Bobby Stickelmeyer, senior, nose guard.
Jacob Corey, junior, D-line.
Lawson Alwyn, senior linebacker.
Ben Mullins, senior linebacker.
Jack Campbell, senior linebacker.
Blake Maxwell, junior, cornerback.
Tyler Miller, junior, corner. Kevin O'Donnell, junior, safety.
Jack Hanley, senior, safety.
Brian Blackford, senior, free safety.
And so that penalty was an illegal block in the back. by Normal West. So that will back them up, Latif, all the way to the 21. All in all, hurts them about 19 yards or so.
Yeah, that's tough because that was a pretty spirited return from them. But let's see what they come out. Look like they're going to pass the ball.
Mangrum in the shotgun has plenty of time to throw, airing it out. Givens, it's too long.
Yeah, and that was a great play call from Fincham on that play, but couldn't connect. May have been a little bit of miscommunication on where the route could have been, but as far as the play call, I think it was a good start to the drive for them to take a shot, being backed up on their 19, kind of throw the defense off a little bit, and it was a blown coverage, just couldn't connect.
See these P&D quarterbacks, how much they'll be tested again tonight. 2nd and 10 officially from the 22. Mulbauer over to Mangrum's right. Man in motion is Cooper Temples. Run goes to the left side, not much doing. The P&D defensive line, led by a couple of returners, makes it 3rd and long. Jackson Campbell on the stop, actually a P&D linebacker.
Now Normal West is kind of like the same situation that Peoria Notre Dame was in the last drive, where they're backed up in their own territory, 3rd and long, and I think they're going to come out with a pass though and be more aggressive.
Here's 3rd and 8. Mangrum, a little bit of a pass out to Givens. Not sure if that hit the ground or not, but he's tackled at the 35. A very low pass, but it is complete, and it moves the chains for the Wildcats.
And they weren't really more aggressive, but better execution right there on the screen pass. That was a great move to lunge there and get the first down. He's been targeted twice so far in this game, so he looks like a feature part of this offense.
And Givens is one of 2 returners that saw a bit more playing time, at least a receiver for West. They did lose Sincere Brown, Gavin Camp, now playing at ISU, as well as Maddox Lawson. So Givens is kind of mostly his receiver room, but there's lots of pass catchers for this West team. Handoff goes to Mulbauer, and he's wrapped up shortly. There, that's Lawson Alwyn again. He's had a good game so far in this first about 4 minutes or so.
And that's really tough to replace talents like Gavin Camp and Sincere Brown. I remember last year watching them. They were electric duo, especially Sincere, what he was able to do after the catch, his speed on running routes. Gavin was a Swiss Army knife on offense. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball. So replacing that with talent is really hard, but Normal West has been able to do it over the last 14 years.
A team that is just consistently so strong, you can't put a price on it, and we're going to get a timeout here from the Normal West sideline. So both teams have burned up their first. We'll have a quick break here in a second. We'll take a look at both head coaches of this one. 2 coaches that are both in their 7th year. Pat Armstrong of P&D and Nathan Fincham of Normal West. Armstrong a record of 31-25. Took his team to the playoffs many years. Didn't get there in 2022, but again had a very tough schedule. Normal West, again, Fincham taking the playoffs every year since he's been here. He's had 18 total years on staff. And he's really not that old of a guy either. So most of his career has been spent here with the Wildcats, and him and the rest of his staff have done a tremendous job with this team year in and year out.
Yeah, it's really impressive what he's been able to build here at Normal West. Athletes in and out. Consistently being one of the best teams in the Big 12 and in Central Illinois.
Well, it's 2nd and 10. You see trips to the right for Mangrum. Rolls out that direction and looking to throw. He's got an open man. Is nearly picked off. That was right at Jack Hanley. Miscommunication with Temples.
Yeah, and honestly, the struggles on his drive, it's not coaching. It's been drawn up beautifully. Mangrum has missed 2 wide open receivers, whether it's miscommunication or overthrows. Gotta wonder if there's some jitters there being the first game. Basically his first full season starting. He is one of the best players in the conference, though, all second team last year in basically half a season. So let's see how he settles down.
Yeah, he was a very mature guy. Here's 3rd and 10. Mangrum looking to pass. He's got Mulbauer in the flat. And the Irish get a touch on him. Mulbauer breaks free, gets the first down. He breaks another tackle and goes out of bounds. How about Cody Mulbauer? Know the name, folks. You're going to be hearing it a lot over these next couple years.
What a explosive play. That's twice now that his plays have seemed like they're going to get stopped by this Peoria Notre Dame defense, and he just breaks the tackle, breaks the run. He's very, very elusive. It would seem to be, and he's going to be obviously a very big part of this offense this year and in years to come. Basically just he's putting the drive on his back, putting the offense on his back, and has Normal West in striking distance.
At the 44 now in plus territory, Baskins the man in motion. He gets the ball, has some good blockers. It's across the 40, down near the 30 before he's pushed out. Two good plays right in a row for West. And back to Mangrum real quick. Latif, I got the chance to sit down with him earlier this week. We had an interview with him coming up at halftime, but I also wrote a story about him, his maturity as a junior. Again, just a junior for this Wildcats team. You can check it out on CSM Overtime. Had all of our football previews, all of our written content is at clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Plenty of content there for all high school sports in the area throughout the season. Definitely check it out. Also a story on the Mullins brothers of PND. First down give. This is Jackson Hill, the first time we've called his name. He gains about 4.
Ball carrier number 8, Jackson Hill.
Yeah, and John, I've been really impressed with Coach French's play calling so far and their offensive line being their first time being out here on the varsity level, have been setting some really great blocks. The running backs, wide receivers that come in motion, getting the ball, has had great vision running the ball, has taken some great angles as well. This offense is moving after a little bit of a bump to start the drive, and now they're in rhythm, knocking on the door of another touchdown.
Knocking down the door of the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone as well. Here's a give. This is Cooper Temples down to the 25, another first down, and just overall really solid drive to them by Normal West. Started in the 20, now they're officially in the Ashley Furniture red zone as well, and they're showing, Latif, that they're not just a quick strike team like maybe Peoria High, for example. They can put together some methodical drives. That's been an emphasis point for this team.
It has been an emphasis point, and that was one of our strengths for Peoria Notre Dame, and now it's being used against them, where they're milking this clock a little bit, giving their defense some rest, and actually being efficient with their offense, being balanced with their offense, some passing, a lot of running. Let's see what they drop now.
From the 15, here's another give. This is Givens down inside the 10, or rather, no, that was Hill. Hill also a quarterback for the Wildcats, and gain of about 6. Brighton Blackford on the stop for PND.
6 on the play brings up second down.
What we talked about before the game started, they're going to get their athletes the ball in space. They're not doing a lot of traditional just up the gut runs like we see from Peoria Notre Dame. A lot of misdirection and a lot of pitches, and they're blocking. Their wide receivers are really great at blocking, obviously, and they're getting their wide receivers a lot of holes, and they're using their vision, their speed, and elusivity. I'm not even trying to say it. You know what I mean?
That's all right. It's week one for us broadcasters too, as Mulbauer's wrapped up in the backfield. The 8th play of Normal West drive. Lots of great action around the area. Glad to have us again here on CIProud.com. In case you're just tuning in, Cody Mulbauer on the second play of the game reeled off a 49-yard touchdown run for the Wildcats. They're knocking on the door of the end zone again, but they have a 3rd and 6 here from the 11. Have 3 wide receivers. Givens at the bottom of the screen. Here's Mulbauer up the gut, and he's wrapped up by the Irish. That's a huge stop. That was Alwyn again in on that tackle.
Brought down by number 24, Lawson Alwan.
Yeah, we've seen a few runs in a row now. I think they probably going to open up here for a pass. I think if I was them, I'd probably go for something, not a screen, but definitely something in the flat here, a little short game, and get your athletes out on the outside and let them make a move for the first down or possibly even a touchdown.
Line to gains the 5, 4th down here. First one we've seen today. Here's Mangrum looking to throw. Back shoulder fade. It isn't brought in. No! In his hands and out.
Drew Ingram's pass attempt to number 7.
For A.J. Austin.
Ball incomplete.
Receiver rotating in and out. That's a turnover on downs. That's a huge stop for the Irish. Let's meet the Normal West defense real quick.
Ball will be placed near the 10-yard line. It'll be first down for the Irish.
Mark Kidwaro, senior, defensive end.
Charlie Moore, senior, nose guard.
Lakin Moore, senior, D-line.
Briar Lienerman, junior, linebacker.
Zion Jackson, senior, outside linebacker.
Drew Hart, senior, middle linebacker.
Logan Alvarez, senior, DB.
Jackson Hill, senior, DB.
Sawyer Philman, senior, cornerback.
Taekwon Page, junior, DB.
Torn Delarry, senior, free safety.
And there's the Normal West defense. Here's a run up the middle for PND. There's Alwyn up to about the 15.
24, Lawson Alwyn on the carry.
Well, I was going to say before the starters came out, though, that was unfortunate because the receiver wasn't able to bring it in, but that was probably Mangum's best ball of the night. A beautiful fade to the end zone. Was in his hands, but obviously the defender made a great play and knocked that out. But that was a beautiful pass.
That was a good pass. Turnover on downs. Brought to you by Force Basements. 2nd and 4. Here's Mullins, the keeper. He played running back last year and falls forward near the sticks. A little bit of Frank Gore right there, Latifa, NFL back that really made a signature move, just falling forward every time. It usually picks up about another extra 2 yards.
Yeah, this is a tough-nosed team. They're not going to get away from what they're successful at, what they're able to do. I just want to see how long they're going to stick with this consistent running game, especially if they're getting backed up in their own territory time and time after again. But this isn't a bad start to the job, honestly.
A handoff here. Here's some open space for Tyler Miller. His first carry. It's near a first down. The 5'9 junior. An explosive run.
Now some of that misdirection is starting to work. Great vision right there. I think he could have went outside a little bit more. Cut it back down to the middle of the field. But even the offensive line got to the second level on that play and blocked some of those linebackers, creating a hole for the running back on that play. That was great execution.
An offensive line led by all Big 12 honorable mention Brady Mullins, the center. He hikes it to his brother, Ben, in the backfield. Handoff, a quick run. Not much doing there for the Irish.
Ball carrier number 25, Jack Hamlin.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Sun beginning to set here in Normal. A beautiful orange sunset coming right at us here in the booth. You got the cornfields across the way. This is Illinois high school football at its finest. He'll hand off here to 15. He's got some space. As Benjamin Hafner for PND into plus territory. That's the best run we've seen of the night. And the 5th different ball carrier we've seen in this first quarter for PND.
Yeah, they're going to spread the ball around, not in a traditional way with their receivers, but so many athletes on this team. Like we said earlier, and we said a few times in this broadcast, no listed wide receivers. So everybody on this field, outside of basically the linemen that we never know, can take a handoff for this team. And now they're really getting into the rhythm late in the first quarter, and they're driving.
Just over a minute left to play. And off to the right side is nearly a first down. I believe that was Alwyn. And it was. So we've seen a lot more of Lawson Alwyn, perhaps lightening the workload on Jack Hanley. He was a big workhorse for P&D. I talked with the Mullins brothers. They said, Jack's going to be great for us as long as we just keep him healthy, because last year he got lots and lots of carries, but he's got lots of guys to split him up with as well.
And he also plays both running back and fullback as well. So a great blocker as well. I would imagine everybody on this team is a great blocker, though.
Very strong team. Here's Alwyn again, a team that Pat Armstrong said this is pound for pound one of the strongest teams that I've had in my entire time at P&D. As the ball's down to the 35, that could be the last play of the first quarter. We shall see. But a nice job really by P&D. A huge play getting that turnover on downs.
Yeah, definitely. That changed the momentum of the game for them. I would imagine gave their offense a little life, that defense making that stop like that. You definitely got to go out there and work for your defense. If your defense gets a stop like that, keeps you in the game, doesn't make you go down 14-0, you got to come out on offense and be more productive, get them a little bit more rest because they couldn't have a short drive again.
That does it for the first quarter. Normal West 7, P&D nothing, but the Irish are driving. Back after this on CIProud.com.
Hi, I'm Webb. I'm the sales manager here at Perfect Choice. We offer windows, siding, roofing, and full bathroom remodels. Whenever you buy a bathroom off of Perfect Choice, something that we do is we don't just walk in and give you one color and one style like a lot of companies in our area do. One of the coolest things is we have a program that allows you to put the pictures and see the colors and actually visualize what you're gonna get before you ever purchase it. But you know, regardless of how long it takes, that it's gonna be done by certified labor and done the right way, our way, Perfect Choice way.
And welcome back to Normal West. The host Wildcats leading 7-0 here after the end of the first quarter. Latif, overall, any general first impressions you saw from that first quarter, which is brought to you by Sunflower Real Estate?
John Click. Congratulations, John. You can go to the gridiron table.
Now it's time for the Peoria Notre Dame offense to come back out here. It's time for the Normal West defense to get their stop. We saw the Peoria Notre Dame get a defensive stop on the last possession to keep this game close. Let's see how they respond.
They'll take over at the 35, a 2nd and 8. We saw exclusively runs from P&D in that first quarter. We'll see if it changes. A little bit of a trickery there, but all in all, not much of a game.
Brighton Blackford. Brought down by 0, Mark Kidwaro.
I can't imagine that it would change as far as them running the ball. But that's kind of a weapon, though, because once you do pass it, it's going to catch the defense off guard so much that it could potentially create a explosive play for you very easily.
On the play.
That'll be a short gain. I'll bring up 4th down. A quick word, folks. We also are debuting our audio game this week, our weekly Small Town Throwdown. A game each week that will go to a different small school in the Peoria, Bloomington, Normal area, and we're kicking it off at West Hancock and DMAC. So if you or anyone else interested in that game, go in, give it a listen on our homepage, clutchsportsil.com as well. Owen Dimful and John Picotti on the call there. Shape it to be a good one in the heart of Illinois. Here's 4th and 8 from the 35, and the give goes. No, it's a pass. They fooled us again, but there's a flag. This could be PI.
Flag on the play.
Definitely PI. Good recognition from the DB, but got there a little bit too early. And like I said, when they do finally decide to pass the ball, they have opportunity to create a big play. And it didn't connect, but obviously got the flag, so it will be a big play for them. It will advance this drive.
That's at least what we think it is right now. Sub coming on for Normal West. That's Marquell Gibbs. Coming on for Charlie Moore, one of the few returners on that West defensive line, a nose tackle on defense and a guard on offense. So that penalty will move P&D down to the 20, so they'll hop into the Ashley Furniture home store red zone.
Result of the penalty, the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Irish.
So 1st and 10 here from the 20. Jonathan Michael, Latif Love here with you in our WMBD Game of the Week. Can't really kick it off in a much better spot. Great Big 12 football here, and the Irish are driving. Here's Mullins inside the 10. He scurries down to about the 9 or the 10. That was some explosiveness that we just saw there out of the senior QB.
And he can make guys miss, but he is definitely more of a power runner. Similar to like a Josh Allen where he's not making guys miss, but he is running guys over and taking a lot of hits. Definitely, I would say, a little bit tougher than your average quarterback. But this Normal West defense is definitely getting tired a little bit on this drive, having to defend the run every single play, having to fight in those trenches, and Peoria Notre Dame offensive line is dominating on this drive.
This run goes down to about the 6. A little bit of some strength wars there, again, with their West big man Marquell Gibbs at 330 pounds. Pushes them back a little bit. So it'll be 2nd and goal, and you bring up a great point, Latif. You know, this West front seven has got to be ready for a long, physical game. And you wonder, again, with the weather, the short practices, maybe a little bit, has any effect on it. Maybe they haven't practiced as long, but again, the Wildcats have been creative. They've practiced very early. They practiced indoors, so done everything they could to get as many practices in as possible. We'll get a timeout here by Normal West.
I don't really think too much amount of practice can prepare you for the mental toughness you have to defend the run in a game like this, where it's constantly going to be a battle in the trenches every down. And so it's all really about perseverance for Normal West here, especially on this drive. Peoria Notre Dame is knocking on the door to tie the game up, and we're going to see how they respond.
We'll see, but again, we talk about this P&D running attack. It's or sort of almost like a whole relay team that they got. They got one guy, then they give it to another guy, they give it to another guy. Jack Hanley, 1,167 yards last year, 13 touchdowns, a Big 12 first-teamer. Lawson Alwyn, 867 yards, double-digit scores, and he was a Big 12 second-teamer last year. So those two guys, along with both Mullins, returning all-conference picks for this Irish squad. Seven yards to go here for the Irish. Had some good running plays here this drive. This is play number 10 as the sun begins to set here in Normal. He'll hand off. Here's Alwyn, or is that Hanley? No, it's neither. It's Tyler Miller in for 7 yards. And P&D is a PAT away from tying it up.
And the Wildcats are doing such a great job of handling misdirection on that first drive. Obviously, Coach Fincham and the defense had a little bit more trouble on that drive, but great drive from Peoria Notre Dame. Before the game started, we talked about how they had to control the clock, control the pace of the game, and they did just that on this defense. Now we're at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, and the game is tied.
That was a scoring drive, about 6 minutes in length. Scoring drive brought to you again by Papa John's. Here's Alwyn for the PAT. It's up, and we got a tie ball game here in Normal. The Irish march down 85 yards. That is just a real tone setter right there after some early troubles running the ball.
And when you say 6 minutes, do you mean in real time or game time?
Game time.
Game time.
It felt much
that had to be
longer
like
than
15
that.
minutes for that drive. But it's effective, it's efficient. Not the most exciting style of football, but who cares about that if you're trying to win a game?
It doesn't. A win is a win, even if you have to win ugly. And P&D doesn't care about having maybe the big long highlight plays or the ones you'll see on the news. They just want to wear teams down, win football games, and really, again, they just stand out so much in this Big 12 conference. You see Normal Community, a very pass-heavy team with Kyle Beatty and Marquand Gary back. Peoria High, traditionally a team that likes to pass, but they do run a good amount as well. Bloomington, third-year starter A.J. Cadron back. So many good passing attacks, and P&D is going to be able to give teams something that they haven't seen before each week.
Well, they've seen it before because they've played them over the years, but they just haven't really been able to successfully stop it in some games. And I think it just throws the teams off so much, throws the flows off of their offense because when they're able to control the clock like this, your offense is just sitting there waiting while they're getting fresh and they're not tired, but they're sitting there on the sideline for so long, and they're kind of getting it's not hot out, it's hot outside, but they're kind of getting cold as far as their rhythm and stuff like that. And that's only going to be more to Peoria Notre Dame's benefit when it actually does get colder, in the season. and you sitting on that sideline getting actually cold.
Yeah.
So it's to run this style of offense, you have to have so much mental toughness, and to stop it, you have to have even more.
Certainly at Normal West, we'll see how much they run the ball. We saw it early on, and it is a team that is very good at running. They have some fast cats, some track stars on this team, Latif. Take a look at them. They're 100-meter times for some of these guys. Colby Mulbauer, 11.24. Taekwon Page, Jackson Hill, right around 11.5. Alex Austin, a very good triple jumper. Logan Alvarez, the cornerback, a good pole vaulter as well. Mulbauer reached the state finals on a Wildcats relay team this past spring.
And you can see that speed as soon as they get on the field, despite having to pass on. These guys get out in space, and they make guys miss. And they, like we saw in that first drive, can get to the end zone very, very quickly. Let's see how they respond on this drive. It's tied up 7-7. And they go back to the run, and it gets stopped pretty early on. Great wrap-up right there from the Peoria Notre Dame defense. Have been running a little bit more than we expected, but that was an emphasis when compared to last year, where they were a little bit one-dimensional in their offense. They came out today and been a little more run-heavy. I'm kind of excited to see Mangrum open up the passing game here on this drive.
Wildcats offense that had a little bit of an extended break on the sidelines. Mangrum fires to the left side. He's got his man Givens. His top target's out of bounds and pushes down a P&D defender. If he could have stayed in bounds, Givens could have been free.
And Givens got swag, man. I'm watching it. Threw him down right there. Looked at the opposing sideline. And when you have the game he's having so far, you can do things like that without getting a side eye from your coach.
Hey, if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And so far, Malik Givens has been doing that. From the 33, 8:46 left to go in the second. Givens is in motion. He gets it. He's got to string this one out in pursuit. He's across the 45, cuts it back, and pushed out on a late flag. Anthony Skyme got in there a little bit late, and he got beat early on and perhaps tried to get his get back there. It's going to cost him some yardage, I think.
Did you see how he eluded that first tackle, and then at the end of the run, he didn't go down? He made it a point to not go down when there was two people on him. The late hit obviously came in. That's a confidence thing. That's he's stronger definitely than what he looks out here on the field. But this team has swagger, has confidence, is confident in this offense. When you're this good for this long, even though, and we talked about how they have juniors and sophomores who step into big roles this season, but when you're watching great players, you practice against great players on a week-to-week basis, it kind of rubs off on you. And obviously, their coaches are installing the confidence in them. You can see it on the field today.
It's a great point, Latif. Again, nothing wrong with being confident. Obviously, you don't want to have it spill over too much, but, hey, confidence is key, and Normal West has it. 1st and 10 now on the 36. Mangrum's got 4 wideouts. Givens getting a breather. Here's a handoff. Mulbauer up across the 35, across the 30, and down to the 29. A gain of about 7 for the Wildcats tailback.
Right now, by number 1, Benjamin Mullen.
Uncharacteristic play right now from Peoria Notre Dame linebackers. Not really wrapping up on the first contact with these running backs, allowing them to get extra yards, and it's killing them on this drive.
It's second and about 2.5 from the 28. Got to get those tackles down near the legs. Here's a handoff to Temples. He strings it out to the outside. He's overall get a small gain. It's going to be close to the first down.
Right now, by number 1, Benjamin Mullen.
Seen a lot Normal West last year as well as this year too. They like to give their wide receivers the ball on some jet sweeps and get those guys some rushing touches as well. Saw a ton with Gavin Camp last year.
Yeah, definitely with Gavin Camp. He was probably one of their leading rushers last season. They implement those jet sweeps, handoffs, all that type of stuff a lot. It makes their offense a lot more dynamic. And because they're getting guys out on the edge, it's a lot harder for DBs to make tackles than what it is from linebackers. And this is the strength of their defense. Peoria Notre Dame, their linebackers, they're getting the ball away from them guys and making these cornerbacks tackle.
That's a great point, Latif. And almost every run we've seen from West is gone outside, partially because of that, but also I think, because of the speed, too, of Mulbauer. He's able to get outside so quick, so that really benefits this Normal West team. They're driving down to the 16. Second and short. Sunset still visible as we're going to get a flag. We'll see what this laundry is all about as the Wildcats again in the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone, and they're going to march closer to it. How about that sunset? Just beautiful. Live look from Normal, Illinois. Anything but normal. 1st and 10, now at the 11. Mangram's got Mulbauer right behind him, gives it to him. Out to the outside, he's got some room, down to the 5 before he's wrapped up. There by Jack Hanley.
And another run to the edge, and I think that might have been a design run towards the middle, but he adjusted. His vision was great right there. He passed to the edge, got out to the edge. And Peoria Notre Dame is not doing a good job right now. The defense is setting the edge and stopping that outside run.
How about this? A little bit of Wildcat action. Torrin Delaire. Actually, he is the backup quarterback, but he comes in for this play. He's got Briar Lienerman, the fullback / tight end, to his right. And then Austin, the tall presence, below him. Here's a direct snap to Delaire. He gets close. It's going to be 3rd and about 2.
Number 6, Torrin Delaire.
Let's see if they go back to that Wildcat. They might actually be. I don't see Mangum coming on the field here.
Yes, I thought it would be a Wildcat at first. Saw Mangrum go off the field, but again, Delaire listed as the backup quarterback. Mangrum looked to be okay, seemed to be shaken up, but here's 3rd and 1 from the 2. Again, Delaire and Lienerman in the backfield. Flag before, and Delaire would have got in. That's going to come back on a false start.
First mistake we've seen from this new offensive line, honestly, is at an important part with them being in the red zone, but they've been pretty stellar all night. Maybe that formation they ran right there kind of tripped them up a little bit. But Mangum's back on the field, and we definitely probably going to see a pass here in the next few downs. Get one of these guys out in space and see if they can get a touchdown.
So that makes 3rd and almost the goal line, a little bit harder. Mangrum's back in. Baskins and Jackson at the bottom of your screen. And we're going to have another flag, I believe. It's going to be on Jackson. You see him grab his helmet, pound it. He's upset that he jumped there. Now moving backwards even more.
Well, the bright side of that, they do get a little bit more space to operate with. Not ideal, but you do get more space, so you get a wider range of play calls to call here in this red zone, in the red zone.
Some new linemen coming in for PND. I see Bobby Stickelmeyer, the nose tackle, as well as Mitch Sager coming in to defend Baskins in the slot. Mangrum on 3rd down, looking for the end zone, over the head of Givens. Again, another really well-placed ball, just hasn't been able to connect. You feel like sometime it might break free for the big one, though.
So I think it was really good play calling. I think the time was off there because the wide receiver looked like he was kind of expecting the ball towards the middle of the field, and Mangrum threw it to the kind of like his back shoulder a little bit. That would have been a very hard adjustment for him to do, to flip his shoulders and make that catch.
And Mangrum has thrown some really good-looking balls. He's connected with a couple of his receivers, most notably Malik Givens, the junior, at 5'9", 170. A little bit of a smaller target, but still a guy that's got lots of speed, lots of talent. And, he's definitely a player that is looking to play at the next level. Normal West, almost every year, sends players on to the next level. Again, including Gavin Camp, headed right down the road to Illinois State at Hancock Stadium, where tomorrow East St. Louis takes on Loyola. That's going to be a barn burner game in the IHSA.
They're two of the best teams in the entire state. That would be a great game. Clash of the Titans in the state championship every other year. It seems like East St. Louis is one of the best, if not the best, high school football program in Illinois over the last 10 years. As long as I've been watching high school football, they've been dominant. That's going to be a very, very good game.
Here's number one sees a good play. Mangrum under duress. He flips it out to Givens. Makes a move. How about that? Loses the football out of bounds, but ultimately just ran out of room. Good improvisation there from the West junior quarterback. And Givens, a nice little juke, little sidestep. But again, another turnover on downs in the red zone.
Yeah, that's 2 straight drives where they are knocking on the door and they weren't able to do it. And that time it was penalties that killed them. Offensive line, first mistake of the night twice. And that really killed that drive right there. Very disappointing, especially since how they were moving down the field. Taking time off the clock as well. We're at 4 minutes left in this first half.
Yeah, Normal West did a really good job of going methodical. Not always the pedal to the metal team you think they might beat. Had the ball for over 4 minutes. Now here's Ben Mullins, hands off. Believe that's Hanley up to about the 15. P&D plays this right, Latif. This could be the last possession if they can put together a good methodical drive, as we're going to get a stoppage here.
To be completely honest, I was already thinking that before you said it. I think this might be the last drive, just based on their play style. If they're able to get 3-4 yards every play, this definitely might be the last offensive drive for P&D of the first half.
And their first scoring drive took 6 minutes off the clock, spanned through the first and second quarters, capped off by a 7-yard touchdown run by Tyler Miller, who's gotten 2 carries. And Latif, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of Jack Hanley, but maybe we'll see more of him later. But again, even if you do give it to someone else besides him, Irish have lots of options, as that's Anthony Sky. I mean, a little shaken up, but able to walk off on his own power. Sky is two-way starter on the defensive end and tight end for this Irish team. So it'll be 2nd and 8. Here from the 15. Handoff. And some speed. Here goes Hanley. He's got some green grass. Watch him run. Can he win the race? He can't. But how about Jack Hanley? We called his name, and Pat Armstrong did the same.
He definitely spoke into existence. Hadn't been having the biggest mark on the game, but as soon as you said his name, at least a 50-yard run down here. And we might have spoke too soon about them taking a lot of time off the clock, because that was a big game. And now they're back again in Wildcat territory. And this is a big momentum switch from what we've seen. Honestly, after the first couple of drives, I thought Normal West were going to maybe open up the lead, but now that defensive stop in the first quarter set the whole tone for this game. And now it's tied up, 4 minutes left in Wildcat territory.
A 64-yard run, I believe, from Hanley. Up the middle, it's going to be a short gain. And a Normal West defensive line of Mark Kidwaro, Charlie Moore, Keegan Brown, all playing a pretty good game so far. So P&D inside the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone, and if they can finish this drive off, Latif, I think it really comes down to the first half. Biggest key is being able to finish off those scoring drives.
It's definitely been the biggest theme so far for these teams, and if Peoria Notre Dame is able to finish it off, that's going to be the biggest thing of the second half, because they've been able to execute on their scoring drives when they get the opportunity. Another big run.
Here's Mullins now inside the 10, still on his feet. P&D sort of sold out there to, I believe, Alwyn, but it was in fact the quarterback Mullins who won the quarterback battle over Jack Livengood over the offseason. Mullins came in with a bit of the upper hand, being the backup QB last year to Liam O'Neill, but did his part to earn the job this year and is a locker room leader for them.
I would imagine most of what goes into being the quarterback for this team is leadership, because you're not doing much passing. So I would assume it's going to be leadership and how physical you are, how you're able to keep the ball and run this offense, because even though you're not passing a lot.
Hanley down near the goal line, in for 6. Jack Hanley sets it up with a 64-yard run and finishes it off from 8 yards out.
Really, really good responses from Peoria Notre Dame. Stayed poised. They look like they've been here a lot, which they obviously have. A very experienced team. Stayed poised. Was down 7-0. Now they're about to potentially go up 14-7 on the backs of a dominant running game, a stingy defense that's been bending but not breaking, and they take a 13-7, possibly 14-7 lead with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first half. Let's see if the Wildcats can respond.
Owen lines up for the PAT. We're going to get a flag before, though. Could back up the Irish. No, it's Miller with the first touchdown from 7 yards out, then Hanley from 8 yards out. It is going to be a delay of game on PND, so Owen's PAT gets a bit longer, but still manageable.
Exit 5 yards. Replay kick.
About a 25-yard kick to add on one more. Low snap, and there's some trouble here for PND. They roll out and throw. No one is home. That was Livengood rolling out there, but at least the positive out of that is he realized it was a low snap right away, and it gave him at least a chance. Rolling out, just no one was there.
Definitely got to appreciate his awareness right there. There could have been a much worse outcome for the Irish. But they do get the touchdown, go up 13-7. Hopefully a simple point like that won't come back and bite them.
Yeah, you know, in a game that we expected to be very close like this, you never know. So 2:34 left to go. That drive, Latif, and we talked about they use up the entire rest of the half. They only used up about half of it, going 87 yards after that turnover on downs from Normal West.
And this is an opportunity for both teams. The Wildcats can avenge the last two drives where they made it all the way down to the red zone but couldn't convert and take the lead going into this halftime. Or Peoria Notre Dame can get one more stop, and they have the ball after the half and can open this game up a little bit. And with the style of offense they have, if they're able to get a 2-touchdown lead with their running game, it can make it very, very difficult for the opposing team.
The Irish will kick it away, but again, Wildcats still time on the clock to get a response and potentially still go in with a halftime lead. Nice kick again from Owen, goes into the end zone, and Latif, I knew Owen was a good running back. I didn't know he had that strength in his leg as well. Maybe Irish soccer coach Mike Baer should be giving Owen a look if he needs an extra body.
A lot of these athletes on both teams can play multiple sports. I think in high school, when you're just in shape, you can pretty much do anything that you put your mind to. So yeah, a lot of these players are playing offense, playing defense, special teams. Very, very talented group.
And playing multiple sports as well. Nathan Fincham, talked with him this week, he said, the reason why we've been able to make the playoffs 14 years in a row is because I push the kids to be multi-sport athletes. They get trained different ways. They get coached different ways. They gain athleticism. They just become a jack of all trades by playing either basketball or track and field, wrestling for sure, as well as Mangram's first down pass was incomplete for Givens. 2.5 to play here. Normal West has got an 80-yard field in front of them. Mangrum tries to get him with a hard count.
I kind of want to see Mangrum go at another receiver, Dan Givens. He's been targeting him a lot tonight. Has connected on some, and others been some miscommunication or overthrows, but I would love to see him target some other receivers and mix it up a little bit.
5 wide receiver set resulted in Mangrum keeping it himself, getting out of bounds after a gain of 5, so it does stop the clock. This West team went 9-2 a season ago, beat Chicago Simeon in the first round of the playoffs before, again, we talked about East St. Louis briefly earlier. They had the bad luck of facing the Flyers in the playoffs for the second year in a row. Love to see how deep they can go without having to face East St. Louis. Here's Mulbauer. He's got a first down and more. Mulbauer breaks a tackle. He's free. Only Hanley to beat. Down inside the 20, the 10. Another long run from Mulbauer, 74 yards. Boom. There's your response.
74 yards.
And that's crazy because we were talking about just 2 minutes ago, we were talking about Peoria Notre Dame possibly having the last drive of the first half and 2 back-to-back quick scores from both teams. The energy is getting up in this stadium. It's been pretty quiet through the first half, but back-to-back scores got both crowds on their feet after respective scores, and it's getting pretty exciting.
This is shaping up to be a dandy here at Normal, folks. Tell your friends, tell your family, get on the WMBD Game of the Week. We're having so much fun. It's only the first half, and we got 2 minutes left of that first half as well. Flag here before the PAT. Mulbauer, Latif, has 125 yards tonight on only counting his 2 touchdown runs. It doesn't include anything else that he's had throughout the night.
He is definitely making a name for himself. Everyone in the Big 12 is going to know his name by tomorrow morning with his performance against a good team in Peoria Notre Dame. Is dominating these linebackers, the secondary. Once he gets to that second level, he's making great moves, showing his speed, his vision. He's only a sophomore. Not so.
PAT is partially blocked and no good, so we're going to be tied up here at 13-13 for the time being, and P&D breathes a little sigh of relief after that.
Yeah, definitely got to take more victories, get that block to keep this game a tie game. And the good thing is they can double up here, though. They have one more drive. Obviously, they're going to be running the ball a lot, so we're going to see if they'll be able to score in 2 minutes. But they did do it on their last drive, and they could potentially go up 2 scores. Not to get ahead of myself, but if they score right here, they can double up after halftime. So let's see how they come out, how aggressive they will be in the running game, and possibly could open up the passing game a little bit late in this first half.
So Normal West strikes back in only 14 seconds. There was that 5-yard run from Mangrum and the 76-yard scamper from Mulbauer. At halftime, folks, stay tuned. We'll have interviews with Drew Mangrum as well as the Mullins brothers that we caught up with earlier this week. Teddy Bull also hops on in our Bob Grimm Chevrolet halftime show as well. We'll talk about different scores from around the area, recap the first half, so lots of stuff coming your way at the half. Wildcats set to kick it away. 3 men back deep for the Irish. One of them is Maxwell. This one, though, is brought in at the 16 by Benjamin Lutz. Here he goes across the 30.
Number 3, Benjamin
So a quick return there for the Irish, and 2:05 left to go. You still got some time, as they proved earlier, to get that potential halftime lead right back. So we have an injured Wildcat down on the field.
It's been a beautiful night tonight. It was hot this entire week, and it's definitely cooled down. And it's a great breeze. Not too hot, not too cold. Enjoying this weather because we're gonna be out here obviously this entire season, and so we gotta really enjoy this time where it's not like scorching hot, but it's definitely not what we're going to have to deal with later in the season.
Certainly, and especially at this point of the evening, it's cooled off a bit. It's still humid, you can still feel the mugginess up here in the booth as Zion Jackson, linebacker for Normal West, is up on his feet, and the West student section gives him a round of applause. He's obviously a little banged up, but good to see he's able to walk off on his own power. He is a player that is going to get some rotation playing time this year as a senior. And especially on kickoffs, you never want to see a scary play, a big collision like that. But again, glad that Jackson's okay. And that brings up a good point, Latif. I'm looking forward to seeing what these NFL kickoffs are like. I haven't seen these new look kickoffs in the NFL before. I didn't watch any preseason games.
They're made to, I think, it'll be a little bit safer. You don't want your players coming down and running at somebody at 20, 30 miles per hour and colliding with someone. So it's made to help with the injuries.
There's a run to the outside and a nice tackle there by the West defense.
Number 20, Jamari Marzette on the carry.
Looked like that was Drew Hart or rather, no, that was Jackson Hill.
Ross on the play, brings up second down.
Bringing him down for the Wildcats. Notice that the Irish haven't really been running at Briar Lienerman a ton, and obviously Lienerman, a big leader of this Wildcats defense, Big 12 All-Conference selection last year. Younger brother of former defensive stalwart Brock Lienerman, a name many might remember for the West Wildcats. Handoff goes to and he's brought down right away. Briar Lienerman right on cue, the first one there.
He's been a little bit quiet so far in this game. Obviously one of the better defenders on this team, one of the better defenders in the conference. A big stop and a big moment right now. Want to see if they can get this Peoria Notre Dame offense off the field, and possibly they score quick, but it looks like they will be running the clock down a little bit here to take away from the possibility of another score from Normal West. But at the least, he's giving his team an opportunity to go into the halftime tied up.
Irish will run one more play, assumingly, and it's a give up the middle. Not a ton doing there, and Mark Kidwaro and on the stop there of Lawson Alwyn, and that will likely do it for the first half. So West with no timeouts. Irish content to go into the locker rooms all tied up, Latif. Fantastic first half of action here in Normal.
At first it was a little bit slow, but 10.5, very, very exciting football. 2 touchdowns on big runs, all tied up. Can't ask for a better game through the first half. This one is going to be a good one.
It really should be. 13-13 at the half, all running touchdowns so far for both teams. The second quarter brought to you by United Way. We'll step aside here briefly here on CI Proud, the WMBD Game of the Week, and come back with the Bob Grimm Chevrolet Halftime Show from Normal.
When storms move through, bringing torrential downpours, do you worry, is my basement flooding? Leave those worries behind and protect your home by installing a basement dewatering system. Force Basement Solutions has over 30 years of experience, and our team of experts will guide you in choosing the best and most cost-effective dewatering system to fit your home's needs. Rest easy with a Force Basement Solutions dewatering system.
Family banking from a name you trust, Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High-quality banking services delivered by caring professionals, people just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks, divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
Hi, we're John and Kristen Taylor, owners of Jolliffe Glass.
Have a cracked windshield? Make Jolliffe Glass your first call. We will handle the rest.
Jolliffe Glass, we're the quality folks.
And welcome back here to Normal West High School at the halftime. It's 13-13. Moment of silence briefly. A moment for a Normal West student that was tragically passed from this life earlier this week. An emotional time for this school and the Wildcat family. A life gone too soon, but certainly our thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved at Normal West. Band to get ready to take the field, but while they're doing that, I got a chance to catch up with Normal West quarterback Drew Mangrum. Have a listen. I'm here with Normal West starting quarterback Drew Mangrum going into his, we'll say, second year of starting. A little bit of a starter last year, but got some very valuable playing experience. And Drew, I wanted to ask you, a team that's always a playoff contender is Normal West. And just overall, what's the expectation for you guys this season?
Expectations, make it back to playoffs and just make a deep run, go undefeated, win the conference, and just be the best team that we can be.
And Drew, I know your last name very familiar to a lot of people in the area. We saw your brother Jaden also be the Normal West quarterback a couple years ago. What has it been like just being part of a quarterback family, and what have you learned from him?
I've learned a lot. He really teaches me the offense really well. He teaches me how to be patient, but, in the long run, I'm just trying to be better than him, so,
A little bit of that brotherly competitiveness. And Drew, do you have any other maybe role models, maybe either professional players, or even maybe family members that just help you become a quarterback and also a person as well?
I'd really like to thank my dad for real. He really, kept me going and really pushed me, even though, say I wanted to be done for the day. He kept me going. And my mom, just to raise me as a person, she helps me get up in the morning and make me breakfast. So, just the little things that she does, it really helps, more than she knows. So,
a quarterback's got to eat. And Drew, I wanted to ask you, what is the hardest part about being a quarterback? You have so many things, I'm sure, that are your responsibility. What is the hardest part of it?
I'd say just being confident. A lot of guys, they see how many things they get thrown at them. The plays, being present in the pocket, but it's just staying confident, knowing that you can do it. Some days I get down on myself, but I know what I can do. So we just, I just got to come out and perform.
Certainly, and Drew, I know last year you were able to throw to a very good group of wide receivers. Obviously, some of them graduated. How have you been able to kind of build that connection with your receivers this year?
Out of practice work, just being able to get a connection and really talk close to the guys. Windy, that's when we really take our time to get routes and timing down to a T. So, and just in-school bonding too, being able to talk to them and be chill with them in the school, it makes a world of difference.
Certainly, and Drew, overall, maybe one thing you're most excited about, again, week 1 of the season, you wait so long for it. What are you most excited about for Friday night?
Just stepping on that field and just the environment. The environment is something different. It's unexplainable.
The environment is certainly going to be pumping here at Normal West as they take on P&D here in week 1. Back to you guys up in the booth. And welcome back inside the booth here, folks. Jonathan Michael and Teddy Ball joins me for our Bob Grimm Chevrolet halftime show. Teddy doing a good job behind the sticks at producer for tonight's broadcast, but still keeping an intent eye on this game. Teddy, overall, what'd you take away from that first half right away?
Going into the game, I really wasn't too sure how it was going to play out. I know Normal West has a great passing offense, but really it's got to give them credit for being able to being able to shift and show off their run game here today. P&D has done a great job at kind of focusing in on that, like the air attack of Normal West and limiting that. However, it seemed like they weren't quite as expecting just the dominance of Drew Mangrum from Normal West, the sophomore. He's done great things. Sorry, the junior. He's done great things so far this game. 2 rushing touchdowns for him, both of them going over 50 yards. It seems like. So it's been a great first week of football to go back to. I've been excited going up to this week and really can't wait for the second half.
I just had to fact check you real quick. There are lots of M's for Normal West. That's Cody Mulbauer with the 2 touchdowns for the Wildcats. But that's all right. Again, like we said, week 1 for us broadcasters up here in the booth as well. But again, Mulbauer is such an explosive player. We talked about his track speed, a state qualifier, 4x100 relay. I know you ran some track during your high school career, Teddy. How does 11.24 shape up as a 100-meter time? You're a better expert at it than I would be.
There's a big difference between track speed and football speed, but you can definitely tell when it translates over. I'm not going to say I was running anywhere close to that time, not even close, but it does definitely help, especially as a running back or receiver. But it could also, just side-to-side movement. He's a great job at being able to get away from defenders as well as just being able to beat them with speed.
Certainly, and we'll talk about Drew Mangrum. I brought him up earlier. He's really looked a lot at Malik Givens. Lots of West wide receivers, Terrell Jackson, Efoy Baskins, Cooper Temples. Overall, they haven't seen a ton of targets yet, but I was talking with Normal West head coach Nathan Fincham during the week, had a great conversation, and I asked him, I said, you were a team that really threw the ball a lot last year. Is that going to be the look of this team this year? And he said, no, we're going to try and run it a bit more, and I think, Mulbauer obviously helps with that, but we'll see what the West passing attack will look like in the second half, but some really good balls that Mangrum threw, and he's only a junior. He looks very confident in the pocket.
That's the key thing, to be able to feel comfortable, and that's especially as a junior, first year as a starter, first year as a week 1 starter. That is, he does look comfortable. He has some moments where he's kind of overthrown a little bit, but that it's week 1 jitters. He's going to get that out of the way. But they have a dominant pass offense, and they were showing today that they were able to run the ball as well.
Certainly, and again for West, big thing we saw a lot in the first half, getting to the outside, using that speed. That was the first thing I noticed about this team. I saw them back about a month ago, Washington 7-on-7 camp, and I didn't see them for long, but I was like, wow, this team is fast, and they want to get out in open space.
And you got to give credit to the P&D defense, because besides the 2 plays from Mulbauer that have been, broken free, they've done a pretty good job limiting that, especially as the receivers. Like I mentioned before, Normal West passing offense is especially the last couple of years, has been so dominant. So the fact that they're able to limit that the way that they have, you got to give credit to Peoria Notre Dame. They've done a great job of that today.
And also the Normal West receivers blocking well as well. It doesn't always show up in the stat sheet as well. They throw some key blocks as well. Now looking at, P&D early on, Teddy, Lawson Alwyn was having a monster game in that first quarter and really has had a good first half on both sides of the ball.
It's been a little bit different for P&D on offense. It's not the explosive runs, although we did see one that went about 40 yards, but it hasn't really been the explosive runs for P&D, but it's been just the constant aggression and forcing their will onto the defense of Normal West. They've really been consistent with that, and even when it didn't work out on the first drive, they went back to it and stuck with their game plan, and it's worked out for them. That's why they're tied up 13-13 right now.
Certainly, again, 2 teams that are Big 12 contenders this year. You got Normal Community, obviously, still looking very good. They're great offense. A lot of pieces returned there. Peoria High, obviously going to be very good. You look further down I-74, Champaign Centennial's a team to watch. Teddy, I don't know how much you've been reading our Clutch Sports Media team previews for all teams in our area. We just finished up all 30 of them today. You can check them out at clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Definitely worth a subscription. We'll have tons of content coming your way. But if you do it, if you did, any teams that stand out to you at all? Maybe it's so hard to pick a favorite, though, in this Big 12 conference.
The Big 12 conference, especially last year, was so fun to watch. Just a lot of high-powered offenses and great defenses as well. But, it's always hard to not keep an eye out on, the Peoria Highs of the world and the Normal West as well, but or Normal Communities and Normal West. It's just there's so many offenses, but it's I think it's going to come down this season to what defense in the Big 12 conference can really stick out. And so far, P&D and Normal West have showed that they've got a little bit of a defense on them as well.
They certainly do. Good offense, good defense. defense on both sides. Just overall fantastic football here in week 1. We'll take a quick break and catch up with the Mullins brothers, Brady and Ben of Peoria Notre Dame. Brady, a lineman, Ben, the newfound quarterback after being a running back last year. We'll be right back after this. I'm here with Ben and Brady Mullins of P&D, two brothers that are big keys for the Irish. Both of them were all-conference players last season, looking to lead P&D to a deeper playoff run again this season. Guys, it's so great to be able to be with you guys. And just overall, I want to ask you guys, when did football kind of start for both of you guys?
Both of us really started playing in JFL. Peoria Notre Dame has their own small little program. I started playing flag. I don't remember when Brady started playing, but I started playing flag when I was like 6. That's when I started playing.
And Brady, what about you?
Same thing for me. When I was about 6 years old, played flag, and we played all the way through until we were 14. And for a lot of that time, we were on the same team, so we've been playing together ever since we were kids.
And I'm sure you guys got to tell me, what were the backyard games like, if you guys did play any in the backyard?
Yeah, I got 3 younger brothers, Brady being one of them, so we always... Man, we're so competitive. Those backyard games get crazy. We're always fighting about stuff. Yeah, they get pretty crazy.
No, certainly. And just, overall, what has been some of your favorite memories that you guys have been able to share on the field throughout these 10-plus years that you guys have been playing together?
I think it's just like those close games that turn into wins, especially when one of us has a big play, or if it's like together, or... I think one of my favorites was Kiwani, which was the first round of playoffs last year. And I think both of us, there were some big plays where I had some leading blocks and he had some touchdowns, and it was just, a lot of fun.
Certainly a dynamic duo, and, guys, got to ask you, first of all, Brady, I want to start with you real quick. I know you've been getting some college interest a little bit lately. Tell me a bit about that.
The ball just really started rolling, so it's been something I've been working for. I've been trying to get going ever since I was a freshman, going to camps, trying to get coaches to look at me, and it's been slowly going, and I think more recently it's starting to pick up a little bit, so it's just something that will come with time, and I'm hoping to get some bigger looks as time goes on.
Certainly. And then, Ben, what about you? What do you think the future kind of holds for you right now? Are you also looking to play at the next level?
100%. I'm trying. It really just all depends on the season. That's just how I'm keeping it in my head. Everything depends on the season. I got to play great to be great. And, none of it really matters if we don't win state.
Again, Brady and Ben Mullins from Peoria Notre Dame, two brothers on a very good Irish team to keep an eye on this season. Back to you guys up in the booth. A little bit of that brotherly rivalry between Ben and Brady Mullins, but they said... we're brothers and we love each other. That's what Brady Mullins said, a quote that stuck with me again. I wrote a feature on them on CSM Overtime. Check that out, posted it this morning. Always great to talk with the Mullins brothers, a big part of this P&D team. Just a couple minutes left here in halftime, folks. We'll step aside one more time and come back on the WMBD Game of the Week here on CIProud.com.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine-washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
From the very beginning, she was my support, my cheerleader, always giving me the best she could. Now it's my time to find the best for her, and that started with a call to Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group. Their lifestyle transition experts became part of our family, working with us to find the right fit for Mom, making sure she was ready, and getting her excited for her new home. Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group, the key piece to your puzzle.
Passionate, focused, strong, qualities that you look for in a great athlete, and also a great lawyer. At Strong Law Offices, injury law is at the heart of what we do. Our team is on your side. When the game is on the line, let us tackle your claim.
Start your career working in the electrical industry with great wages, benefits including guaranteed retirement income, paid health care, dental, vision, 401k, and more. We have positions open now with IBEW Local 34. Be a part of the electrical team on the front lines of the electrical revolution. Join us on the cutting edge of training in new electrical technology. Contact us today at PeoriaJATC.com.
And welcome back to Normal West tie ball game here at halftime. 13-all between the Irish and Wildcats. Dandy of a contest so far with 4 rushing touchdowns, 2 from both teams, obviously. Both of West coming from Cody Mulbauer. P&D is coming from 7 yards out, Tyler Miller, and 8 yards out from Jack Hanley. But again, going back to their former running back, now quarterback Ben Mullins. Latif, this is what he said in our team preview. This is a couple weeks ago, too. He said Normal West is going to be our biggest conference game of the year, where we want to come out of the gate fast.
They definitely, I wouldn't say they came out the gate fast. They're a little bit more methodic, but then on those, like, second, third, and fourth drives, big runs, definitely didn't expect that from them out the gate, but explosive runs, a lot of misdirection, and they did come out and set a tone, I would say. Not necessarily came out fast, but came out and set a tone, and now they have the opportunity to kind of upset a team that a lot of people picked, Normal West. So they have the opportunity to go up big, not go up big, but take the lead here in the second half. So let's see if they can go ahead and do that.
And there's been a lot of different opinions about the Big 12. You know, some people say, oh, P&D could win it all this year. Some people saying they could even go 8-1. Normal West, obviously a lot of people think they can win the conference. But taking a look at what the Big 12 is shaping up like tonight, some scores for you. Starting here in Bloomington Normal U High up 51-14 on Manual. Pioneers rolling behind quarterback Alec Weiland. He is going to be a guy to keep an eye on this year. Normal, just the town, and Bloomington as well. So many good quarterbacks in this city. It's almost unbelievable. Normal Community, speaking to them, they're up 28-0 on Richwoods. Peoria High up 26-6 on Champaign Centennial. In small school action, Seneca up 29-6 on Tremont. Farmington up 12-0 on Illini West. Elmwood Brimfield 27-14 over Knoxville right now. So how about those Trojans and head coach Todd Hollis? And in Washington, our John Camosa is there tonight covering Todd Stevens' first game as the head coach of the Panthers. They are trailing Caneland right now 10-7. That game's still in the first half, but John will have all the coverage and the story again on CSM Overtime for that. So real quick before kickoff, Latif, anything about those scores stand out to you?
Not necessarily. Obviously, Normal Community is dominating like they do every year. You said they're playing Champaign?
Richwoods tonight.
So yeah, nothing I didn't expect in that first game, but I wouldn't say anything that really stands out. It's pretty standard to what we thought would be going on so far in week 1. But there are some matchups down the line of the season where I think we could see some upsets.
Certainly, and how about another head coach debut, Robbie Gold. Yes, that Robbie Gold, the head coach for the Bears. His head coaching debut right now in Pekin, the head coach of Rolling Meadows. They're all tied up at 0 at the half. We're all tied up at 13-all. We're ready for half number 2. Kick is away and brought in at the 15. Here's Lutz, got a seam across the 40. A great return to start the second half. Talk about setting the tone, Latif, and there's another one right there.
Definitely a great return. Already basically at midfield with this running game. It's a great way to start off the drive. And they can still have the opportunity to be methodical and take some time out the clock. But great message to your team to open up the first half like that. I wonder if Robbie Gold gets nervous to be coaching his first game, even though he played in the NFL.
That's a great question, you know. He's dealt with so many high-pressure situations, and he's obviously done it very well. One of the best, if not the best, Bears kicker of all time. But being on the sidelines, in charge of a whole team, a little bit different. As the ball carrier there, Ben Mullins, quarterback, picks up about gets 5 or 6 to the outside. Actually give him 7. So 1 play and P&D already in West territory. Again, Jonathan Michael and Latif Love here with you in the booth here in our WMBD Game of the Week. Have a great slate of games coming up your way this season. Stay tuned to the end of this game. I'll tell you where we're going next week as well. Man in motion, there is Maxwell, and it's a tough run. You saw the ball carrier Alwyn kind of crawl forward on the ground a little bit, trying to get a good spot. I believe that was him, but he is very close. Tough to tell here from the booth.
I think you've been doing a great job. It's definitely telling who the ball carrier is with all this motion and all this misdirection that they have in this wing T offense. You're definitely doing a great job of, at least at the end of the play, knowing who had the ball in their hands. And if it's hard for us up here, I would imagine it's very difficult, and it has been very difficult for Normal West to defend this offense.
And it's so many fakes. You got option plays, you got counter plays, you got design keepers we just saw from Mullins. We'll see what we see here. This is a keeper as well, and he gets across the line of scrimmage and scampers up near the 40.
You think about the level of IQ you have to have as a player for this Peoria Notre Dame team to definitely have all these options and these gadgets inside of this wing T offense. And obviously they've been learning it for years, especially I would assume they probably run this on the JV level as well. But I think it takes definitely a high level of IQ to run this type of offense. Even though it seems simple, there's so many intricate plays in it and like buttons in the offense where they have to definitely know.
So a second and long from the 42. Irish get full backfield. Here's Alwyn. Or no. Again, faked us out here in the booth. You gotta wait till the pile gets peeled off. I think that one there was Ben Mullins, and he got very close to a first down. So this is a huge 3rd and short for Normal West defensive line. New look unit, again with Mark Kidwaro, the senior, 5'9", 200. Charlie Moore, Keegan Brown, a group they call the Hornets Nest, their defensive front. 3rd and short. It is Alwyn. Can confidently say it that time, and he did get the first down. So, again, just more the same for P&D. It looks a little bit more rejuvenated. This is the type of football that I think Pat Armstrong loves to see.
Definitely 3-4 yards every play. Tire out the defense. Get your defense a rest so they can get some big stops like they did in the first half. It's been the game plan for Peoria Notre Dame so far in this game is working to their benefit, knocking on the door of another potential touchdown.
Still got 33 yards to go, but 1st and 10. Handoff, it's a pitch out, nearly dropped by Handley. Spins around, gets near the 25. Pretty nice looking play there for the Irish, and they just consistently keep moving the ball forward in this second half. Got to wonder by this point, Latif, you just got the halftime break. Is Normal West defense maybe starting to feel a little bit with this heat? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd love to know.
I wonder at what point are they going to try to sell out a little bit on the run. At this point, at some point in this game, I would feel like you have to make the pass beat me. I'd rather be shocked by a play-action play. And they are selling out a little bit, loading that box.
8 men at the line of scrimmage. A man slipped. Another first down.
Linebackers there got completely fooled by the misdirection. Looking like us out there a little bit.
Yeah, it's just guesswork, honestly. It doesn't help that you got Tyler Miller, who's number 23, Lawson Alwyn, who's number 24, Jack Hanley's number 25. That was Tyler Miller there just on the carry. They're all very similar numbers, too. I wonder if that's strategic at all. You see the 2, and you need to see both numbers to know who you got running the ball.
Shout out our camera crew. It got to be a little bit tough for them as well up there trying to follow this offense.
Here's Hanley. Can they follow him into the end zone? He's just shy. Play from the 11. Irish now firmly in the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone. And again, Hanley we haven't seen a ton of tonight, but he did have that 8-yard score back late in the second quarter. First and goal now from the 2. Most teams, their playbook would not be wide open, but for P&D in this situation, just 6 feet out, it is. Mullins just going to try and push his way in there, right behind his brother Brady. It's going to be close. And I think he's going to be short, Latif.
And man, what a big stop this would be for Normal West. If they can get off the field here, that would be great for their momentum after another drive where their defense just get manhandled on that defensive line. This Peoria Notre Dame offensive line is having a great day, pushing their linebackers and their DBs out of the way at the second level.
Third and goal. Here's Alwyn, I believe. And it's a touchdown either way for Irish. And it was indeed Alwyn. So 3 different ball carriers have gotten in the end zone for the Irish. They lead 19-13 on the road here in a drive that took up over half of the third quarter. Textbook football from Pat Armstrong right there.
What we've been seeing all night, he's been sticking with it. And he has to, receive questions here. Like, are you guys, you going to change, ask some more passing, and the almost stubbornness to what's working. It's amazing to see.
I think we know the case. Again, gotta admit, this is my first time seeing P&D football live in person since calling their Shamrock Classic game back at Richwoods. Actually, the game was at Dozer Park, but it was against Richwoods back in the fall of 2022, and that's kind of my first time seeing P&D football, and now after seeing a lot more of it, there is no need to change at all. We can firmly say that this brand of football works for the Irish, and this is a school that's much bigger than they are. Again, Normal West usually a 6A opponent. P&D played in Class 4A last year, so early signs are good. Normal West, though, still lots of time to respond.
Well, I don't think things like classes and school size mean a lot to them. We saw them go into enemy territory last year in the playoffs, 14th ranked in the entire state, or the 14th seed last year in the playoff. Barely scraped in the playoffs and got a big win last year. So they're used to going into enemy territory like they are tonight and getting big wins. And they have the opportunity to possibly do that again today, up 20-13 with 5 minutes left. 5 minutes, 47 seconds left in the third quarter.
And this game is just getting started, folks. Back and forth, first half. First it was Normal West and Mulbauer on the second play of the game. Then Miller got in from short yardage from P&D. And then P&D actually struck again from Hanley. Then Mulbauer reeled off a 76-yard run, and that time Alwyn gets in from 1 yard out. So the Irish kickoff unit back on the field. We'll see if Alwyn sends this one into the end zone again. He's showed off a good leg after that first kick of the game was kind of a sky kick, trying to keep Normal West off guard. See what they do here. Perhaps are they feeling cheeky, wanting to try and get the ball back, or are they just going to play it safe?
With how their defense has been playing today, the options are open, because if they do give up, if Normal West does recover here, they try something, then they have shown the ability to stop them even closer to the goal line.
And they're not testing their luck, though. They know that this Wildcat offense is ready to go. So they'll take over from about the 25-yard line or so. We'll see Drew Mangrum for the first time this second half, and Cody Mulbauer as well.
If I'm not mistaken, that drive took about 5 or so minutes again. So when you think about it, this this offense has got a really, really long time without being on the field, so they're definitely a little bit out of rhythm. Let's see what they come out with in the second half. We could possibly see a little bit more passing in this second half from Drew Mangrum in the Wildcat offense.
We shall see. 4 wide receivers. Temple's in motion, but it's a give right up to Mulbauer again. Splits it to the outside, and he's free again. Here goes Mulbauer. Pushes a defender down. He's got the hat trick.
That kid is good. That kid is good, obviously. Vision, speed, strength. He has the confidence as well. A sophomore doing it all today. A heck of a breakout game.
Welcome to the show, Cody Mulbauer. This isn't his first game played in a big game. He did play against, I believe, Champaign Centennial in Week 9 for West last year and had a really good game, over 100 yards. Didn't play a ton against Simeon the first round of the playoffs, but then got a lot of carries again against East St. Louis. So, yeah, that was as a freshman, too, on a Class 6A powerhouse. And he has really shown tonight what he can do. Again, just on his touchdown runs alone, over 200 yards. He is, I will say this firmly, he is going to be a CSM Weekly top performer that you'll see on our Instagram page, Clutch Sports Media, pretty soon later this weekend.
He's trying to earn himself a Clutch Sports Media feature story with this performance today. Definitely want to know a lot more about his journey, being a important player to end the season on a Class 6A title contender, and now in his second year on the team, dominating in his first game of the season. Definitely will make it for an interesting story.
Certainly would. Breakout sophomore for West. Player was shaken up for P&D. That's Tyler Miller, and who running back on offense and a corner on defense. And again, he's walking off under his own power. So here comes the all-important PAT. Keep in mind, the last one was no good. It's up, and it's good. Or no, it bounced off the crossbar. I stand mistaken. It looked good from our angle. But doink it goes, and the Irish still hold a 1-point lead.
And that gave all Chicago Bears fans a little PTSD in the playoffs a few years ago. It wasn't a double doink, but anytime you see something like that, you think of that. But we talked about before the game a style clash, and up until this point, it has been a style clash. Peoria, Notre Dame, methodical drives, 5-minute, 6-minute drives. And on the last 2 drives for the Wildcats, very, very, very quick scores. All 3 courtesy of Mayberry, the sophomore running back.
And again, we talked with head coach Nathan Fincham during the week about, facing this P&D team. He said having to get ready for a wing tee is difficult. You don't know what they're going to do. It could do so many different things. Option, the power, the belly. We'll see what they'll see on this drive. They saw a pretty good mix on the last drive as well. But, again, 2 very different running styles. P&D just goes right up the gut. And then West, just with Mulbauer, you cannot leave him open in the open field. The Irish secondary has learned that lesson already tonight.
And I don't think they're not leaving him open. They just can't stop him. I think that's the issue. He's been really good at breaking through that second level. His vision has impressed me the most, honestly. I think this new offensive line is doing way better than what we could have ever expected in their first game. And we kind of talked about that in our preview with Norman West this year, or the interview we had with them. But this definitely exceeding expectations of what we could have expected. And a great, great stop on that kickoff return. Someone appears to be down with an injury. Hopefully he's okay.
As Jackson, again, he was shaken up earlier. Good coverage, I should say, by the Wildcats. But Jackson, thankfully, again, back up on his own feet. Just, I wonder, maybe sometimes is it Is it cramping on a night like tonight? It very well could be the case. So watching the Illinois game last night against Eastern Illinois, and that was very much the case there. A lot of guys just get cramped up. Thankfully for Jackson, he looks to be okay. So Irish will take over, still hanging on to the lead.
Second missed PAT for them this game, and in a game this tight, that has to be on their minds with missed opportunities here.
And West has overall played a really good game, and we knew that coming in. Very well coached team every year, and ultimately, you're not going to execute every single time, but still plenty of time left to go, and again, it's only 1 point. So here go the Irish from the 27. And they're loaded backfield. At handoff. Looks like it went to Miller potentially. Or no, that was Blake Maxwell. We've seen so many different ball carriers from P&D tonight, Latif. We've seen Ben Mullins. Benjamin Lutz has returned some kicks pretty well. We've seen Ben Hafner. We've seen Maxwell. We've seen Miller. We've seen Hanley. We've seen Alwyn. I think that's 7 all in total for P&D. Second and long from the 28. Hanley cuts it back to the 30, and another good stop by this Wildcats defense. Getting in there that time was 33, Brady Hart.
Definitely looking more similar. Got another Wildcats down. But their defense is definitely looking more similar to that first drive where they were just stopping everything the Irish threw at them, looking very, very prepared for this wing T offense. And it's kind of reminiscent of that first drive here on the Irish's second drive of the second half.
So man down here, it's 3rd and 6 on the 31 for P&D. Score update from Dunlap. By the way, that game is also being broadcasted on elsewhere on CI Proud as well. New production truck out there. We had all the Dunlap home games this season, and the Eagles are leading 20-0 after a pick 6 from Mac Sutter, a name that many people have been talking out in the area. And again, you can make that same case. He's only a junior, and he's going to be D1 bound.
For sure, a lot of talent in Central Illinois. And we say that a lot. Only a junior. For a lot of these players, they're going to be playing at the next level. And their coaches have 1 more year to develop these players. 1 more year of 7-on-7 to develop these players and get them, obviously, more looks at the D1 level.
Certainly, and also another quick score update in our small-town throwdown at the halftime. DMAC was leading big over West Hancock, 36-14. The Chiefs, under head coach Cody Myers, looking pretty good. That one up I-74 from us in Mackinac. Let's see who that player is for Normal West. Holding his area near his hand. And it looks like that was Mark Kidwaro, the senior defensive end. Bit shaken up there, but big third down here for the West defense. We'll see if they can come up big. Alwyn behind the center Mullins, and it was going nowhere. Big tackle there, Lakin Moore, the linebacker.
Benjamin Hafner on the carry. Brought down by number 11, Briar Lienerman.
And Briar Lienerman also in on the stop as well. Haven't really seen many 3-and-outs really for either team so far, so that's a massive swing in the pendulum towards Normal West.
Like I said earlier, it looks similar to the defense they played on that first series that the Irish had. I wonder what coach said to them in that timeout, because that's the best defense they played all night and probably the most critical moment for them of the game so far.
3.5 to go here in the third quarter. Still got lots of great football left to play. Kick is away from Mullins, bounces at the 44 and goes out near the 40. So overall, pretty good field position for the Wildcats here. And You know, we talked so much about Normal West passing attack, but really, I don't see how you couldn't hand it off to Mulbauer at this point.
I definitely wouldn't stop until they stop him, for sure. If it's not, bro, don't fix it.
Certainly not. Want to take a quick word and thank Joliffe Glass, proud partner of the WMBD Game of the Week here on CI Proud. Ball is officially at the 42, and we talked about Wes breaking those runs outside. Got to give massive shout-outs to Jacob Meyer, the left tackle, and Jordan Stovall, the sophomore right tackle, laying some really good blocks, setting the edge here for West, who have another 4 wide receiver set. Mangrum looking for the screen. Temples has to come back to it, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Mangrum has some off-target passes so far in this game, a lot of them. Not a big day for him throwing the ball. On that play, I don't know if the receiver went too far afield, but that was definitely a little bit behind the receiver on that play.
A good awareness, though, from Temples. You know, maybe he intentionally dropped that ball because, you know, it would have been a tough play for him to shift it upfield. Temples, obviously, a very athletic player, but there were some Irish jerseys in the area, so it'll set up a 2nd and 10. Baskins is in motion. He gets the carry. Nice block there on the outside. Baskins near midfield, and he's pushed out there by Miller. It was a really nice block, I believe, from Mulbauer, the running back. So not only just a speed guy, he held Baskins gain a couple extra yards and get really close to moving the sticks.
You can tell he's very strong and he's very fast, but he's built as well. So that helps in the blocking game, protecting the quarterback, setting the edge on the outside. And these Irish corners have not done a great job of getting off blocks and making plays on the outside.
I think that says a bit more about, again, Normal West receivers. They have been overall blocking well. It's an underrated part about being a wide receiver. Here's Mulbauer up the middle. Breaks another tackle, flag down. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. Both teams been playing very disciplined tonight, Latif. It's been pretty impressive on both sides of the ball in terms of keeping the flags to a minimum.
Well, you consider this is the first game of the season. You got to add that context and to definitely praise both of these teams and these coaching staffs for having their teams prepared and having them in control, controlling their emotions. And it hasn't been a lot of flags, but the flags that we have seen, I think they've been in detriment a little more to the Wildcats, and there's going to be another penalty on them. We saw 2 penalties a few drives ago, which cost them a touchdown as well. So let's see if they can overcome that and get a score on this drive.
Yeah, they had that one drive that they got down to the 1, then a false start, then another false start, backed them up to the 11, and unfortunately could not finish it off. So a 1st and 15 here from the 47. Baskins in the slot at the top of your screen. And Temples in motion. Ingram goes play action, looking to throw, going for it all. He's got Givens. A beauty from Mangrum, and it was just a hair too far. That was almost that home run play that we talked about that Normal West has been knocking on the door of.
Great play call there, and great fake right there from Drew. Looked like he's about to take off and run, and then obviously throws a deep ball. I think if he would have ran a little bit longer and not dived, he might have got that. We've seen a few players, those like these big plays, they just can't connect on. It's been detrimental to their offense so far tonight.
And they've just been so close each time. But they're only down 1 and driving. Still plenty of time left in this one. This has been a beauty. A way to open up the IHSA football season. Mulbauer across midfield and got more space. There he goes. Brought down by Alwyn inside the 25. Gain of nearly 30 for the sophomore back.
Mulbauer has been bailing them out time and again. A tough play on offense, and he comes back with a great run. His cutting is just great. It's on all of his runs tonight, mostly he sees an initial defender, mostly an edge or a linebacker, and he makes a cut upfield using his vision, ability to stop on a dime, and that's what's
powering his dominant showing tonight.
So 1st and 10 from the 23. That's officially a 30-yard run from Mulbauer. Again, Temple's in motion. They do hand it off to him. Flag is down, and he runs right into Tyler Miller. Great wrap-up job there.
I think that might be holding.
Brought down by number 22, Blake Maxwell. There is a flag on the play.
False start.
False start.
The flag was thrown pretty early. 1:49 to go here in the third quarter. We'll get the call from the man in the white hat. And it was a false start indeed, so you obviously don't want to see the flags, but you'll take a false start over a hold any day. Obviously with a guy like Mulbauer, backing up doesn't always turn out to hurt you.
But we have seen it hurt the Wildcats so far, these penalties on these drives. Made it a little bit harder for them to take a lead here late in the third quarter. Let's see if Mulbauer can bail them out once again.
And they do know they go play action, going for it all. Oh, another great ball. And so close. Looking for Jaden Cross, the senior wide receiver.
Yeah, another drop. I don't know who to blame that one on. I mean, it was a little bit overthrown, but get your hands on it. You know what they say, you got to come down with that.
I think maybe the person you blame it on is Mother Nature. Maybe the humidity making the ball a little bit more slick. Obviously, you got kind of that sticky kind of just stuff on your glove, and they come naturally, not added sticky stuff, obviously. Sure, all these players are abiding by the rules, but I'm sure it's maybe been a factor, I think, sometimes tonight. 3rd and 10 here from the 23. Mangrum looking to pass. He got some time, got some good blocks, and he finds a man near the 20. There's a flag down. That's Nicholas Ruiz, the tight end. And we'll see what this flag is. Saw some good blocks from that West offensive line by Mangrum. Lots of time to throw, and I don't think he has not been sacked at all. So overall, pretty good start from this Wildcats new look O-line.
Good job out here, my stepping up in the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field. Thought about scrambling in there for a second, but saw his tight end had a slither to his face right there.
So the Irish will decline the penalty and make it 4th and 7 rather than 3rd and a little bit longer. So we'll see what that decision turns out to benefit. And again, Normal West in the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone. 2 drives have ended in there today. We'll see if they can convert this time. Mulbauer comes across. Mangrum looking to throw. Got time, got a man, and it's overthrown. Looking for Temples. That's been the common theme for the Wildcats passing here today.
That is a brutal, brutal drive. You had a touchdown overthrown, a touchdown drop, and then another touchdown overthrown on that last play. That's a brutal drive. It's been a pretty rough night for these receivers and Drew Mangrum tonight. The running game has fueled their offense tonight, and it looks like they're either not on the same page or it's just been overthrows from this offense. That's a tough break. Another drive, that's the 3rd drive where the Wildcats are in the red zone and couldn't finish it.
Anybody, Mangrum in his defense, putting balls in places that, they can't be intercepted. Their overall safe throws, obviously you want to complete those, especially on 4th down, but not putting any balls in danger. There haven't been any near picks at all. So it's been good at reading the defense, just hasn't been able to connect with his receivers on the big ones, but it's up to his defense now, and they've been playing well here this 3rd quarter. Got time for one more play. The play clock at 30. And about a 6-second difference between the two.
And maybe I think because he's been lofting a lot of these balls, he has a beautiful spiral, but maybe if he changes the type of pass and puts a bullet pass in there, he can connect with his receivers a little bit more. I think he's throwing with a lot of touch, which is usually good, but just a little bit too much.
Run up the middle. Lots of black shirts right there, including Brady Hart, among many others. And they'll leave about a 3rd and short for PND. Their lead is 1 headed into the final frame here in Normal West. Don't go anywhere, folks. Get your seatbelt, strap them in, and get ready for the final 12 minutes here from Normal West. Back after this on CIProud.com.
The Jansen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
You're involved in a serious auto crash. The insurance company.
The Jansen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
You're involved in a serious auto crash. The insurance company isn't even fair with you concerning your motor vehicle. Do you think they're going to be fair with you with regard to your serious injuries? Contact the Jansen Law Center.
J. Jansen. One name says it all.
It's winning time here at Normal West. Irish Road Warriors tonight lead 20-19. Here we saw touchdowns from Alwyn and Mulbauer in the 3rd quarter. The difference right now is that missed PAT from West. And a big chance to make a stop here on 3rd and 2, get the ball back with, might get good relatively field position. Alwyn takes the snap and hands it off. I think they got the first down. They certainly did. That was Hanley on the carry as a Wildcat shaken up.
On the carry. Brought down by number 6, Torrin Delaire.
That's Torrin Delaire on the tackle for the Wildcats. And the player shaken up, Drew Hart, runs off. He's all right. So now if you're a P&D, Latif, you could really put West in a tough spot if you can have one of those drives that we saw in that 3rd quarter that ended in that all-win touchdown.
You definitely can if you can, again, also use a lot of that clock. Their offense hasn't been as good as advertised outside of the running game, which takes time off the clock. So if you get a score here and you get a field goal and go up 8, that would definitely be difficult for the Wildcats to come back for, especially since when you get the ball back, if they eventually score, you can take a lot more time off the clock with their running game. So they have all the momentum right now. The game is fully in control. Let's see how this experienced team and experienced coach can maybe close out a big Week 1 win.
And 2 experienced teams, 2 experienced coaches. Again, we know Nathan Fincham's going to make the right calls to get Normal West, keep them in this game and get them still in they're obviously still in this game. Yeah. It's only 1 point, obviously. And a good stop there. That's a nice play that goes for about nothing. So, again, 10:50 left. If you get the stop here, you have plenty of time, and all you need is just 1 score. Even if it's just a chip shot field goal, really helps you out if you're West. 3rd and 5 here. We haven't really seen Alwyn a ton here in the second half. He got a lot of carries in the first half. So now here at the sideline. You need to look at that Normal West defense and Logan Alvarez right there. 3rd and 5 from the 38. P&E has been good on 3rd down so far today, especially in the second half. What does this West front 8 have in store? They load the box. Handoff goes, and we're going to get a flag. Hanley thought he could have broke that one. You see him a little upset with that one. This could back the Irish up and really hurt them. One of the first penalties for them in a long time that's been costly.
Definitely be a break for the Wildcats as the penalties have been hurting them on the opposite side. They can get a break here, make it a much longer line to go for a running game that's been dominant tonight, and they get off the field. They can give some momentum to their offense.
Yeah, that defense leading the offense, that's certainly definitely a thing. Offense sees their defense get a big stop. Haven't really seen many tackles for loss. Both teams have done a good job of moving the ball forward. We haven't really seen any backwards plays, if any, at all tonight.
But I wouldn't say the defenses have played terrible. It's been a lot of bending, not breaking.
Well, there could be a negative play right there. Jack Livengood is wrapped up in the backfield. A huge stop for West.
Exactly what they needed. First time, second time all night. We've seen P&D try to pass, and it reflects in a negative play. Great stop for the Wildcats defense. They definitely needed that. And let's see if their offense can make that worthwhile.
Jackson Hill, huge stop for Normal West. A big play from the senior DB. Makes it 4th and 18, so the Irish really probably have no choice here but to punt. And it looks like it will be Skyme back in the game after getting hurt earlier to punt this one away. And we get another flag.
And it is on. Timeout.
So that'll be timeout P&D. Play clock was running down and didn't want to move back anymore. So 9:24 here to go. Got to figure that West is going to have solid field position, most likely. I definitely think it's time to maybe hit the phone of Cody Mulbauer again.
Definitely. He was dominant again on that last drive. They couldn't finish it off. Went to a few passing plays. But with the time and score it is, you definitely need to rely on your – well, tonight he's been the best player for the team. So big-time players make big-time plays, and there's a big-time moment for the Wildcats.
Again, over 200 yards for the sophomore.
Got to be around 300, I would say.
Yeah, over 200 just alone on touchdown runs. That doesn't include his others as well. He's probably above 250. So 2 men back for West. It's Efoy Baskins, and it looks like Torin Dallaire as well. The punt is mishandled, but still gets away. Takes a bounce right at midfield and takes a West roll. They're going to start this drive, Latif, in plus territory.
I thought they might have sent a little bit more pressure there on that punt return, but obviously a bobble snap, and it works in the favor of the Wildcats. Now, there's 9 minutes to go. They're in plus territory. Let's see what they bring out. I would go to the running game. Passing game hasn't been as efficient as you would like so far tonight. Lean on your star running back. Go take the lead.
So they'll start at the 48. West he led 7-0 early on, but have not led since. This game came into halftime tied up at 13, and sure enough, it's Mulbauer, and a big hit laid by a P&D linebacker. That may have been Anthony LaFonte. And that was LaFonte. First time we've called his name. Junior linebacker laying the wood a little bit right there. No gain.
And the Wildcats definitely need to get their fans something to cheer about. I feel like it's a pretty packed house, but they haven't been the loudest in this game. Kind of expecting more from them in their fans tonight.
It's very tense. You see that tension in the air. It's been a close game, but they're ready to erupt. They get a big play, and there's been many of them. Baskins gets the carry, and he's wrapped up by Alwyn. A massive tackle from the senior linebacker and a baseball star as well.
Great play. Both defenses right now are just making plays when they need it. And so I would assume we're going to see a pass here from the Wildcats. Maybe they can get one of these big plays to finally connect. Time is going down pretty fast. Only 8 minutes left. This game has flown by. You got to capitalize right now.
Got to savor all of it while you can. This is great football to open the year, folks. 3rd and 15 from the 47. Mulbauer's in motion. We're in the top of the screen, and West is going to have to burn a timeout there. Talk things over, and at this juncture, 3rd and 15, Do you treat it like 4-down territory? I mean, you could try and pin P&D deep, rely on your defense to get a stop.
They haven't. I don't think they've punted today. They've been going for it mostly on all their 4th down tries, but they have been in plus territory when doing so. I don't know. I would try to punt it if we don't get this drive. With how P&D is able to run the ball and in plus territory, I wouldn't risk it. This drive has been really weird. Started off really good with the bad punt from P&D, put you in plus territory. Now a few negative plays, and you're at 3rd and 15 in your own territory.
And big plays from lots of defenders in this one. On Normal West side, some big ones from Briar Lienerman, Lakin Moore. Then we just saw Lawson Alwyn throwing down Normal West ball carrier for a big loss. Now they're behind the sticks. 3rd and Bloomington. Mangrum looking outside, going deep. He's got 2 men. Baskins had it in his hand, and it came out. Big hit laid there in the secondary. Great coverage by P&D. It looked like that may have been Maxwell potentially, or Jackson Campbell in coverage.
Yeah, kind of a miscommunication there. It looks like 2 receivers were in the same spot. Definitely one of them ran the wrong route. I couldn't match that. Coach Fitcham would have them both there at the same time.
Well, hey, 2-on-1 could odds kind of go in your favor. Maybe bounce off of Baskin's hands and into the hands of Givens. He was in the area, but again, I don't think that play was designed to be a tip drill. So 4th and 15, West will punt, 7:40 to go. Punt, there's some pressure, it's blocked! There by Mitch Sager. P&D picks it up. They're gonna score. Tyler Miller finishes it off. What a swing!
Every time the Irish defense has needed to make a play in this game, they've stepped up. Goal line stands, red zone stands, and now we block punts to put them up potentially 8 with 7 minutes left in this game. What a great play, and no wonder the West offense hasn't elected a punt so far in this game. First time they do, block punt, and the momentum is fully shifted. This crowd is definitely silent.
Yeah, the good news again for Normal West is that they obviously don't like that they scored, but doesn't take a ton of time off the clock, and that could have been a concern. Was if P&D got that punt deep in their own territory, they could have taken up some major clock off of 7.5 left. So West will have a chance to rebound right back, but Mitch Sager came in almost unblocked for the Irish, and Tyler Miller finished it off. We get a flag before the PAT. It's funny, you saw Sager briefly kind of look where the ball is. He knew he got his hands on it, but didn't know where it went. Thankfully, his junior, Tyler Miller, was right there to clean it up.
Yeah, great awareness from those 2 teammates. He was definitely confused out there for a second, but he made the play. And you're right, that was a great point. At this point in the game, you have to, take some things on the bright side. I would have been worried if P&D got that ball with how their offense been moving in the running game. They would have had an opportunity to not only take a lot of time out the clock, but potentially score and basically put this game out of reach.
PAT is up and good, so it's an 8-point deficit for West. They'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But again, still plenty of time. You do have who arguably has been the game's best player, I think, so far, at least statistically, in Mulbauer in your backfield. So, and West, I've been watching them on the sidelines, been talking a lot with their coaches, trying to get things nailed down, and I'm sure everyone, the West coaching staff, giving them great advice and making sure that putting them in positions to succeed here. Now it's just up to them to execute, and that's just been some little things for the Wildcats, and it's hurt them a little bit tonight.
I think it's been good coaching tonight from Coach Fincham. In that huddle, I did see you guys pushing each other
to tell themselves, like, we got to get this together, pushing each other like in an encouraging way. So I think Coach Fisherman did a great job tonight. It's just on the players to execute his game plan, and I think they're taking accountability from what I can see from the booth. And let's see how they respond on this drive.
Certainly, again, the routes have been there for them passing the ball. They've brought up some great running plays, finished off by Mulbauer. They've gotten down into P&D territory a couple times, and some of them have just came up empty. But still plenty of time. Been a doozy of a ball game here, WMBD Game of the Week. Really glad we got to start our season like this, Latif. You never know coming into a game. You're going to see a close game. You're going to see a blowout. We didn't think we were going to see a blowout tonight. This has been about what we expected in terms of just how close it's been. It's always been a one-possession game. There hasn't been a two-possession lead at all by either team tonight. And again, glad you're with us here the whole ride on CIProud.com, whether you're just joining us or been with us since we kicked off. A line drive kick is brought in by the Wildcats at the 37. That was an absolute laser from Alwyn and brought in by Sawyer Filliman. So 63 yards ahead for this Wildcat offense. And not a ton of time to talk and regroup on the sidelines, but some time for sure. And let's take a look at where these teams are going to be next week and following. P&D hosts Peoria High next week. That'll be a barn burner. Then they host Champaign Central as well before heading to Richwoods. So P&D will have 3 straight games at Endress Field, and they play their home games as well. And then Normal West at Normal Community for the Chili Bowl next week, and then they're at Danville, a playoff team from a year ago. After that, the Wildcats opened their season with 5 straight playoff opponents from 2023. Mulbauer breaks a tackle. He's free down the sideline. Look at him go. Mulbauer wrapped up at the very end by an Irish defender. That was Hanley, but one move and Mulbauer's gone.
Every single time they needed him to answer the call, he has answered it with a big run. Almost every drive breaking out 30, 40, 50-yard runs. He's been elite tonight, rushing the ball, blocking. And that's some stability they need right now, being down. They need a big play, a big touchdown to ignite this crowd, get the momentum back on their side, and try to come home with this victory. Let's see if they can actually finish off this drive.
There, again, on the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone, a 43-yard gain there from Mulbauer. Made one move and was just gone down the sidelines. Hanley barely got him. Here he goes again to the right side. Breaks another tackle, still on his feet, and it takes 4 Irishmen to bring him down.
24, crossing all one on the tackle.
And he's running with force tenacity. Will not be brought down at first contact.
The 10-yard line will be first and goal.
I'm surprised he has this amount of energy and this amount of strength left after being a workhorse this entire game. They've needed him to be this entire night, and he's delivered.
Mulbauer's been the horse.
I wouldn't go away from
for
him
Normal
right
West.
I would go right back. I don't think he's on the field.
And he has
there
earned
you
his share. It is Mulbauer across the 15, across the 10. He breaks the play. Touchdown, Normal West. And who else but Cody Mulbauer? What a
great
drive.
Safety valve to have on your team. Him being so young as well. Quarterback doesn't have it going. Receivers don't have it going. The ability to have a running back that you can rely on like that. When you are what most think is a primary passing team, is going to be special for them this season.
It certainly will be. He's got speed. He's got shiftiness. He's tough to bring down. He's the total package. He is Cody Mulbauer. Now the all-important 2-point conversion. Mangrum hands it off to Mulbauer. Got some blocks. He's in. We're all tied up in Normal. Great play calling, and there's that execution we talked about.
Way to stay poised. Way to stay poised, Coach Fincher. That was a great job, great drive. And you got your crowd back into it. Student section is up on their feet. Cheerleaders are cheering. And that momentum is back on the side of the Wildcats. But what a great job for them. You go down after a block punt. That can almost discourage your team, and they responded in a great fashion.
I kind of figured in the back of my mind that it wasn't going to be a matter of if Normal West would respond. It would just be a matter of when. And they do it with 6:48 left to go. And you said it, Latifi, the energy's back. The student section, which is almost completely full tonight. Again, they're all dressed in pink. They're showing out here. Wildcat Nation, we see you. And this fan base is all of a sudden way more into this game. And they should have been the entire way. I mean, this game was never far out of reach at all. And now we got to tie a ball game with 6:48 left, Latif. This is so far been, I think, one of the best games, not just in week one, one of the best games that we've seen really in Clutch Sports Media in our games of the week over the last, entering our 6th year. Hard to believe. This is shaping up to be a CSM classic, you know, on ESPN or on college football, the video game they say, play an ESPN classic. This is a CSM classic, no doubt about it.
Definitely a CSM classic for me right now, especially depending on how this game ends. If we get a last-second touchdown, it's going to go probably in the top 5. I think my favorite CSM.
Oh, mishandled kick, and he had his knee down. As the West fans and players point out, there's the double whammy for P&D. You give up the touchdown, and now your backs are against the wall.
And just like that, in this game, the momentum has shifted completely back to Normal West, and that's a brutal, brutal mistake from the returning man right there.
It's just tough right there. Yeah, you saw him, he kind of had trouble picking that ball up, and as he went down, his knee just barely scraped the grass, and that's going to set up the Irish at their own 3-yard line. That's a heck of a kick, too, from Normal West as well. Their kicker, again, who we don't have a name for on our roster, missed that PAT, but a deep kick really helps out right there. We have a big green bug joining us in the booth.
If I'm Normal West, I'm selling out so much right here.
Hand off up the middle, a safe run.
P&D has to be conservative this far into their own territory. And this is a grand opportunity for the Wildcats to get off the field and get their offense led by dominant running back Mulberry too.
That was Owen. That was Owen on the rush for P&D. Swarming defense from Normal West. We talked about the keys to the game, have the reinforcements ready, and West has got to be able to cover any which way that P&D may go here on 2nd and 9. Well, handoff, flag is down. Hanley's got some room to run and brought down to the 26. There's a chance this could be brought back, though.
Sure that was false start. And it's coming back. Yep. False start. That's a drive killer right there. That's a drive killer.
Ever since that blocked punt from P&D, not much has gone their way. You gave up the long runs to Mulbauer. You gave up the 2-point conversion. You accidentally go down at the 3-yard line, then a flag, and we have a player down for West. Again, heat obviously still a factor tonight. See a couple guys get shaken up, but everyone's been okay so far. In case to just reset the scene for you, I'll tell you how this game has gone in case you are just tuning in. Cody Mulbauer, second play from scrimmage, 49-yard touchdown from Normal West, responded to quickly by P&D. Tyler Miller punched it in from 7 yards out. Then later in the first quarter, Jack Hanley, an 8-yard scamper to put P&D up 13-7. Then Mulbauer took it 76 yards right before the half, tied it up at 13. PAT was missed. Then Mulbauer goes 80 yards after Alwyn punched it in for 1 yard out. That made it 20-19. P&D blocks the punt. Miller runs it in for the touchdown. And then Mulbauer has that 12-yard run and that 2-point conversion to set the score right now. And Payne Mefford for Normal West, telling the Normal West student section and fans to get riled up. And I'd say why not? I mean, this is a big play. Irish at their own 2, and a real chance that Wildcats could get a safety.
And
Man, would that be a big play for this Wildcat defense? Expect the whole entire stadium to erupt.
Wildcats egging on their fans to get into this one. 2nd and 11 from the 2. Positive play there for P&E. That's about all you can ask for, but it still sets up 3rd and long. That was Handley getting the give.
Brought down by number 11, Ryder Lederman.
3rd and 9 officially from their own 4. What do you do here if you're PND? Obviously, we're likely going to be a run. Who do you hand it off to? That's the question, Latif.
Well, they have an array of options. We've seen like at least 8 or 9 running backs or players touch it so far. Definitely probably go to Haley. Being your best player so far in this game. Big runs for him tonight. I would definitely give it to him on his big possession.
They go to the first team all Big 12 player. No, they're going to pass it. He was looking for Hanley. Mullins was. It's an incomplete pass, and the Irish going to have no choice but to punt from their own end zone, and there's 4:44 left. Chance for the Wildcats to conjure up some late magic at their home den. Now the focus, Latif, is if you're West.
Got to be how much pressure you bring on this punt here. I would definitely be super aggressive. Tie game. As long as you don't hit the kicker, I would definitely bring a lot of pressure, and it looks like they are.
Here's Skyme. Not much room. Low snap. He's in trouble. He gets it away. How about Anthony Skyme? It's a short punt. It rolls to the 28, but it could have been a lot worse for the Irish.
Heads up played the fake punt. That's an extreme level of IQ. He faked the punt, still got it off somehow with defenders barreling towards him.
29-yard line.
That drive wasn't ideal at all, but you got to take some from that punt right there. Those are the type of plays that can be game-saving at the end of things.
It certainly did. I mean, that punt's blocked. It's almost a guaranteed touchdown or a safety for Normal West. And now with the ball to 29, it's not guaranteed they'll score, but it's a Wildcat team that's got all sorts of momentum right now and can start to feel it a little bit. Mangrum leads his team out there. Just 2 wide receivers here. It's Temples in motion. They give to Mulbauer to the left side. He's free. He makes a move. He's nearly in the end zone. Touchdown saving tackle there from Brighton Blackford.
Man, at some point, it doesn't even get surprising anymore when he makes these big runs. But I am surprised still. I did not expect him to come out and have this dominant showing tonight. But he's been amazing for this team. He's been the heart of this team, the driving force of this entire offense. If I'm not mistaken, he has every single touchdown.
I believe he does. Yeah, 4 touchdowns for Mulbauer. Knocking on the door of his 5th. It could give West the late lead. Play clock down to 8. Mangrum looks to the sidelines. All he just needs to do is hand off to Mulbauer. Gets it to the outside. A touchdown for West. 5 touchdown game. And the Wildcats are back in front for the first time since early in the first quarter.
It's been a long time coming, but their ability to stay poised in the face of adversity has got them here. Missed touchdowns, missed passes, big plays called back, and yet they're still up 6 with a chance to go up 7 late in this fourth quarter. It got to be impressive for them to be able to do that and show their fight through adversity, even in week 1.
Look at Mangrum hyping up Mulbauer, screaming at him in celebration, saying, "You are the man." There's a whistle blown dead here, a timeout from West in order to get A.J. Austin onto the field. So we'll talk things over and see what they do here. I'd be shocked if they went for 2. Then that leaves the door open if P&D gets a touchdown at PAT. Again, Irish still have 3:52 on the clock. Got to keep that in mind. But how about the resilience from Normal West tonight? That is what stood out to me. They have rolled with the punches and found a way and made big plays when they've needed to.
For sure. And if they're able to come out this win, that's going to be very good for them. Definitely had their best game against a good opponent, and you're able to come out and win. Those are the type of things that can help you have great momentum for in a season.
Rain's starting to come down here in Normal. See how that affects today's game at all. Some fans starting to hit the exits or bring out their umbrellas. There was some rain in the forecast tonight. Kick is blocked again. So the Wildcats only get 6. P&D has been all over the place in terms of blocking kicks and punts tonight. So that's a massive play for the Irish.
And the weather, the rain adds to the legend of this game. 3 minutes left. It's raining. And we know Peoria likes to run the ball.
I know how bad it is out there.
I think it may just be passing by, though. I think the rain might stop pretty soon here.
It's overall falling fairly light. I'd say it's pretty average looking rain shower. So, again, we talked about in the elements, the cold weather, maybe some rain. Maybe that favors P&D a bit, that ground and pound. We'll see how well they can keep their footing on this field that's getting a little bit more wet. Still a all-natural grass surface here at Normal West. You see so many teams going to the turf nowadays, but a lot of players still do like that all-natural grass, and that's what they have here at West. So Cody Mulbauer, his 5th touchdown of the game. Scoring drive brought to you again by Papa John's. He's certainly making his case to be player of the game. We'll announce that at the end of this one. We still 3:52 to play.
And the rain hasn't quieted this Normal West crowd.
Good return, but it's going to be stymied at about the 27. That was Jamari Marizets on the return for P&D. So the job is simple for P&D. You score, you have an opportunity to win with a PAT. If you turn it over, you're looking at a little bit of a tough scene. You do still have 2 timeouts, though, if you are P&D. Just keep an eye on it and be ready. Also, just keep communication with them. Like, ask them if it's getting worse or something like that. So 71 yards ahead for P&D. Had to see if we need to deploy the trash bags on our cameras, keep them dry.
I gotta say though, it does feel good to be in the press box. I remember my first few years of clutch, I had some really bad run-ins with the rain, and it was cold.
And
too.
I think you had one here at the same field. There was the slop fest against
Yep.
Peoria High a couple years ago. That was an absolute doozy. I almost needed Noah's Ark to get out of here.
Is that the game where Peoria got upset because they turned the ball over so many times?
It was, yeah. Normal West won that game, ended up winning the Big 12 that season. That game was essentially the de facto Big 12 conference title game, and Peoria High turned it over 5 or 6 times just because the ball was so wet.
Yep.
And Normal West, that defensive group they had that year was just a menace, and they were all over the place. And they're looking to bring a similarly big win back tonight. Not going to clinch the Big 12 with this win, but this could go a very long way in such a competitive conference, getting out on the right foot. A little bit of an extended delay here. Normal West actually taking their second time out. setting up their defense for this drive. Again, they've been seeing the dangers of the wing tee all night from Pat Armstrong and P&D. They've been able to stop it at times, others not so much. Mullins takes the snap. Hands off. Hanley's got some blockers. He's wrapped up. Huge tackle there from number 12, Sawyer Philemon.
Brought down by number 12, Sawyer Philemon.
Great tackle right there. Great vision from him. And to see
brings up second down.
Hanley going to the edge right there, staying poised and not missing a tackle, which you've seen so much tonight.
Yeah, I love how much Philemon was pumped up after that play. You just love to see that kid playing the game they love. The rain's coming down. You're in front of your home fans. The adrenaline's pumping. It's week 1, and you just made a huge play on first down. Still a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 from the 32.
I know you can feel the importance of every single play. That's why he was so pumped up. Having the opportunity to make a play that could be game changer.
He's pumped up to shine on the WMBD Game of the Week. A good give there to Jack Hanley. A tough run, gets him very close to the sticks. Again, keep an eye on that clock. 3rd and 2 officially, but it's a short 2. Do or die drive for P&D. Mullins hands off to Alwyn. He was stuffed on the initial attempt at Normal West. Weight room. Their defensive line wins the battle.
They've done a much better job in the second half, giving up the same amount of touchdowns, but you can just feel the difference in them able to stop the running game. These last 2 drives, they've done a really, really good job stopping this offense.
Quick score update from Washington. Again, our John Camosa there. He'll have the story tonight on CSM. Canelan leading Washington 20-14 after 3 quarters, but this one coming down to the wire as well. Under 2 minutes, 1st and 10 P&D. Handoff goes to the man, Hafner. He's free. There goes Hafner. Brought down to the open field, but a massive run for the Irish. Philemon, a little bit of different emotions there after that play, punching the ground in frustration.
And this is shaping up to be a CSM classic. What a great run right there.
Oh,
Definitely
man.
The drive was almost stalling out. Great play from him when his team needed him most.
That was a run of about 50 yards there from Hafner's. Ran out of gas, didn't have quite that breakaway speed, but it set up P&D well. They have 2 timeouts to work with and under 90 seconds to play. Here's Hafner in motion again. This give goes to Hanley up to the 15, and a great tackle there by number 5. That's Logan Alvarez. Clock goes tick, tick, tick.
Every single play on this drive is humongous.
P&D deciding to keep their timeouts in their back pocket. 1 minute to play. Irish have 15 yards to go and a PAT to make if they want to walk out of normal as a winner. 2nd and 8. Alwyn gets the carry and bulldozes forward. I think now you take it, and you will see a timeout from the P&D sideline. 47.6. Again, 3 yards in a cloud of dust is the name of the game for P&D, but you got to get back to the line or get that first down to temporarily stop the clock or get out of bounds as well. So P&D's ball carriers have to be very aware. We haven't seen them run outside the tackles, though, that much tonight.
You definitely got to be able to go into your bag of plays right here. But thankfully in this wing T offense, they do have a lot of stuff they can do in this situation. But because they like to run the ball, they don't have the fortune of staying in bounds on every play. And now both of these teams are definitely in these huddles strategizing on what will be the best thing to do right now. It's going to be, I think what's going to win the game here is coaching.
I think so. Again, great coaching matchup. 2 coaches in their 7th year, Pat Armstrong, Nathan Fincham, 2 of the best in the business, and they've been going at it. Their teams have been going at it. Again, huge run from Benjamin Hafner to even give P&D the chance to have that shorter field. Again, Irish not a team. That's a quick strike team, but Hafner got him in position. 3rd and 5, undoubtedly 4-down territory. Mullins under center. Hands it off to Hafner, and he's wrapped up behind the line. West defense makes another stop. And I think we're going to see a timeout, and I think you have to take one here. This is your final chance if you are the Irish. 4th and 7 now from the 14 after that tackle from Jackson Hill.
Man, this is a high-pressure situation. I think they're going to come out, have to pass this. They're going to have to pass this. Hasn't worked for them all night, and they're going to have to throw a pass on this play.
The student section getting riled up. Wildcats tell them to get loud, get on their feet. Rain has subsided.
We were talking about CS in class. I think that that Pekin game from in the state, was it the playoffs?
Pekin played some great games against Lake Zurich and Normal Community back in that playoff run, but
game where they scored, I think, at the end, but they lost.
Yeah, Lake Zurich game
last year.
Lake Zurich game,
Yeah,
quarterfinal run.
The best clutch game I've ever been at, I think.
This one may be one of the best I've ever been at as well. Again, still 41.9 seconds left to write some more drama. 4th and 7 from the 14 if you're P&D. Your tough guy is Alwyn. Your fast guy is Hanley. We've seen Hafner get some carries. We've seen Miller get some carries. There's so many options here on 4th and 7. Here we go. They'll pass. Brought in by O'Donnell. No! The hit jarred it loose, and West is going to win it. What a play from this West defense.
And they stepped up this entire game, made clutch plays, and none bigger than that one. Great pass breakup. They knew what was coming. They had to pass the ball. And they say defense wins championships, and their defense definitely clamped down in the second half, stopped the run a lot better, made timely plays, and they will get the win tonight after coming back down from 8 and winning this game. This type of games you gotta love, especially getting a win after being down, having so many miscues.
1st and 10, West can just kneel it out. P&D has no timeouts left. What a win this is going to be for the Normal West Wildcats. 14 straight points. Again, Cody Mulbauer doing it all, but really, you remember this play, it is going to be their defense that won this game. I don't mind that play call either for P&D. I think, you give them something they haven't really seen much. It was a good throw from Mullins, a nice jumping grab from O'Donnell, but he just couldn't quite hang on. I apologize, I didn't see who had the hit for the Wildcats, but jarred it loose.
I definitely don't hate the play call. I mean, getting 7 yards on the ground with 40 seconds left is a tough thing to do for sure. But basically, good play call. He just wasn't able to come down. You got to get a credit to the defense. That was just a great play from the DB right there.
After time expires. Not immediately, just wait for my cue. And listen to this crowd. Normal West is going to take a big win tonight at home to open up the 2024 regular season, 33-27. Latif, this was one of the best games we've ever seen and a fantastic way to kick off the season, especially for the Normal West Wildcats.
There's not much we could have asked for that would have been better than this tonight, week 1. We got a nail-biter game, great game, a style clash, but we saw Normal West deviate from what they've been doing in recent years and run the ball a lot. We got a breakout player today who we watching for the entire season. We got turnovers, we got missed touchdowns, we got drama. Not much more we could have asked for in week 1 of Clutch Sports Media football coverage this season. Hope you guys tune in for the rest of the year.
Hope we get some good games the rest of the year as well. We'll be back to wrap up this one as well, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after this on CIProud.com.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoyunitedway.org.
Taste the tradition of Avanti's on the go. With Avanti's fast carryout, you can taste the tradition at the basketball court. Enjoy a handcrafted pizza with toppings you love. Taste the tradition at the pickleball court. Fill up with a fresh gondola. Taste the tradition at the park. Indulge in your favorite pastas. The possibilities are endless. Call or order online today to taste the tradition of Avanti's on the go.
The home of the gondola, Avanti's.
Welcome back to Normal West. The Wildcats are winners. They celebrate with jumping jacks, 33-27. They are jumping for joy after a comeback win in the second half. Cody Mulbauer, 5 touchdowns tonight. Don't know an exact yardage total, Latif. It probably is over 300,
I'm
possibly.
To 5. I don't know.
I don't know about 5. No, 500 is crazy.
Close
Mulbauer
to 400 something.
Yeah, three, maybe close to 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. He is undoubtedly our perfect choice exteriors player of the game, our first one of the season. Congratulations to him and the Wildcats. And again, we saw about the style clash. P&D, we thought they did what we expected them to. Thought Normal West would pass it more. We saw them try to do it, try and get some big hitters. It didn't work out for them, but they pivoted to what was working, and it came through in the biggest time of the game. So credit to Drew Mangrum, credit to Cody Mulbauer, credit to the offensive line, too, for Normal West, especially their tackles, Jacob Meyer, Jordan Stovall, Granted James, Kyle Tennis, and Charlie Moore up front as well. They were definitely some heroes as well, and their defense. It really was a true team effort.
Well, I would imagine that Coach Fenton is telling the guys today that this is our floor. We definitely didn't play our best game at all today. The passing offense did not connect on a lot of big plays tonight, but we had a great showing on the running game and as far as in the trenches, really on both sides of the ball, especially the defense end of the game. So if I'm Coach Fenton, I'm telling them this is the floor. We're nowhere near as good as we're going to be. This is week 1. We had a lot of penalties as well. So encouraging signs to get a W like this coming back down for 8 points. And so if you get a W, it's a lot to look forward to this season.
Certainly, and lots to look forward to for P&D. They showed they will be a contender in the Big 12 this season. Tough loss, but again, you either win or you learn. Certainly some lessons learned for P&D. They're going to come back better for it, and they were very strong tonight as well. I want to take a quick shout-out again for all of our sponsors for tonight's game. I want to shout out our next door clients, 2 Men in the Truck, Adam Merrick Real Estate, Pepperell Chiropractic, 3300 Event Center, Jansen Law Center, NECA, Strong Law, Avanti's, as well as our Clutch Sports Media crew, Rodrigo Perez, our director, Teddy Ball, our producer, Gabe Holoco, Wesley Staubach, Noah Powell behind the camera, Paco Alonso had some pictures that you'll see soon on CSM Overtime. Subscribe today, clutchsportsil.com/overtime for more coverage. And for my great broadcast partner, Latif Love, I'm Jonathan Michaels saying so long and good night. A CSM Classic at West goes the way of the Wildcats. We'll talk to you next week for Normal, U-High, and Bloomington. Back in the Twin Cities for the WMBD Game of the Week. Have a good weekend, folks.